And we're live. Pretty sure we're live. I think everything's okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Frederick Knutson, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've been waiting for everything to set up just right for it. So before we start, I just want to make a note. Super Chat is there, but if you want to get a hold of me or say something to me, I'm not hard to get a hold of. You can get me on Twitter really easily, or Twitch. Like, both of those are linked down in the description. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything really holding anything up. So let's get started. So this is a critical analysis of Sonichu. However, I am not a comic artist. Like, I mean, I liked Watchmen. I thought V for Vendetta was neat. Saga's cool, but I don't know much about the craft. And so I managed to rope in Elise McCall. Would you say hello?
Hi, everybody.
So Elise McCall, you already know her work, actually. She's a comic artist. She's a fine artist, but you definitely know her work because she designed the Down the Rabbit Hole logo. And she also designed the gas mask cultist that appears on some of the intros of my videos.
Mm-hmm.
And she's here to help me dissect it, similar to how I sort of dissected Norman Bouton's masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Elise is here to help me dissect it and figure out what makes Sonichu so bad, but also where it might be redeemable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really interested to get this started. Elise, do you want to add anything else?
Well, no, I just want to say, too, that I'm really excited to be here. And, you know, for comics, it's a marriage of both words and pictures. So I really come in from, like, the art side of it, like the drawing and the craft of the sequencing. But I think there's a lot you have to offer with the words and all the... yeah, and so it will be really good to do this as a collaboration because that's such the nature of comics. It is a collaborative art form. So let's break it down.
All right, so just to clarify, you have seen the episode of Down the Rabbit Hole about Chris Chan.
I have.
So you know in general, like, about this person.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, so, like, just to set that up. All right, I have it ready, and we are going to start now.
Yeah, and I have never read
Yeah,
it
she's going in
depth.
blind.
I'm going in blind, so I don't know what to expect. I've only seen some like these little bits of it. So, you know, are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready. Actually, we have our first super chat. This is literally the first super chat I've ever gotten. Thank you so much, Shenda. I'm glad you appreciate the work. Hopefully this will be a little more constructive than the Empress Theresa stream. So this is the cover of specifically Sonichu number 0.
Number 0.
This is number 0, not number 1, but it is the first issue.
Was it the first one drawn? Or
Yes, it was the first one drawn. This is the besides his like CD cover, I think, that he made, and maybe some doodles. This is the first like Sonichu sequential art release.
Wait, you said CD cover.
Okay, so Sonichu was originally made because he was in a visual design class, and he was told he had to make a CD cover.
Oh.
And he wanted to use like Sonic and Pikachu on the cover, but they wouldn't let him because they're copyrighted. And so what did he do? He mashed them together and made a character and was convinced he'd struck gold. And he just fell in love with this character and wanted to make things with it.
Well, you know, that's good. I've had that kind of similar feeling before. So,
yeah,
I mean,
totally.
There's something cool and endearing about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't entirely fault him for doing something like that.
Yeah.
Inherently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, but this is number 0.
Yeah, this is the cover of issue 0.
Okay.
So another thing important to note might also be that these are divided into chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, and each issue has its own, like, however many number of chapters.
And do you know is there like a kind of typical page length?
It varies a lot. Like, surprisingly so.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, initially, my first feelings are it's I think it's really helpful that we get to see that this is copyrighted.
Copyright of a mashup of Sonic. You know what? I'll just let the comic speak for itself. You'll learn.
Yeah.
I was gonna say how doofy.
I mean,
usually you will learn.
Yeah. I mean, usually we don't like
Did
this.
I miss a super chat? Hold on.
Yeah, no, it's
I
fine.
totally did. Andrew Turchik said nice, and for some reason it didn't end up at the top. What in the world?
Well, now we know,
Am I?
and
All right, yeah. I'll keep an eye out. But yes, please continue.
yeah, no. So I mean, there's something. You can kind of see that. I think Christian is emulating a lot of comic book covers, you know, like having the kind of issue info up here to kind of clarify that this is like number 0, you know, when it's released by. I mean, like, and this is super classic of comic books, especially particularly superhero comics, because there's so many like issues of it. It's a little interesting because that's immediately what I kind of get the feeling of, like, this is going to be like really action packed, you know, and we're going to just get tons of content. I'm a little concerned about this logo. It's a little difficult to read. And typically when you have like a comic cover, the most important thing is readability and like that it's like going to pop out at you and really like stand out, particularly on like bookshelves, because, you know, comics for so long have been things that have been printed and have had to like kind of compete with like tons of other comics. And so, you know, that's why we get these really like bold, graphic, illustrative covers in order to kind of draw you in, even though like a lot of the times cover artists don't match the artists who are inside the comics. And so I'd say I like, you know, like this green in the background. That's like a bright, nice color. But typically you don't put word balloons and bubbles right on the cover.
On the cover, it's not typical.
Because, you know, like you don't want to, nobody's going to like really read it. They're going to, you know, you want to just be bold and get like these like dramatic, let the action in the image almost like treat it more like an illustration versus like comic art.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple super chats. John asks, have you read every issue, Fred? I have not. I tried at one point, and I felt like at some point I was just retreading old ground, and I got I couldn't stomach it. I'm sorry. And we have Eric's Lost. Love your vids, dude. I'm so glad. Hopefully this will live up to your expectations.
Could I?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, do you know about how many issues there are?
There are. It got up to 10, and I think they're working on 11.
Oh, they're still working on it?
Like there was, I think there was. It was like a 5-7 year hiatus. Does anyone know? Do we have any historians that can say how long the gap was? But like the trolls stressed him out, and he refused to work on Sonichu for a very long time, and only recently started again.
Well, I mean, like, I think it's amazing that it's started up again, you know? Like, sometimes it's hard to come back to anything if you've been away from it for, like, that long.
Yeah. So another thing, like, one thing that I wanted to point out is his method of adding text. It's obvious that he doesn't, like, draw in the text.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if the logo issue has to do with him scanning it in. Like, could it be a scanner problem? Like, it looks fine in person in the right lighting, but the scanner just didn't get it?
Well, you know, that's certainly probably a bigger issue. You know, like with scanning, you want to like be considering your resolution that you're scanning at and like getting the highest quality possible so that like when it gets to this scale, it's much, you know, it looks nicer and more seamless. But
Yeah.
I think more the issue is the fact that it's tiny, you know, like it's not like there's all this like gap space around the edges. And so it's like, you know, it is hand drawn and it's like, I can't see it next to this this blue. And, you know, that's a very interesting thing that's happening. The color right here, so the fact that Yellow and that blue is kind of mixing, forming this like little bit of green, is kind of creating this like vibration, which it just makes it hard to look at. and that's really important for like color theory in general, like putting colors that are very like bright really close to each other, and then like on top of it, like with this very tiny little like this marks makes it hard to just see. And again, that's not what you want. And then again, like I like that you bring up the fact that this is just kind of typed in. Probably is that Comic Sans? I'm pretty sure that looks.
It might be. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, it's or it's something very similar.
It's like all caps Comic Sans, which is atypical. Like I feel like I don't see all caps Comic Sans enough. I need more of it.
Yeah, it definitely, and that will bring your attention right to it because it's on this white, like this is very clear, you know, like it's on this white background, it's black, and black in general, like as will always pop out, like it's on the surface, like it's very much, it's going to come forward versus like anything else. And so, you know, this really, it's not marrying very well with the kind of hand-drawn quality.
Yeah, the style is, I guess like the really nice clean lines of the text really do not jive with the art, and that kind of becomes a theme.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I've talked to people about this before, where debating like the art of like kind of like more how would I say, like...
Oh my god, someone said you could say it's written in Sonic Sans.
we should trademark that. I can get behind the like the drawing style, because comics really isn't about, they're not about the art, so to speak. Like you can tell comics with like absolutely no illustrations. Like comics are about sequence, right, at its core.
Yeah.
And so it's like this art style, like I could get behind it if the artist is consistent with it, right?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it's just not pairing with the text. And I had an instructor one time tell me that like you should treat your text like drawing. And oftentimes one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was like, before you even draw the artwork for your comics, letter it, like put in the words and draw in like the text bubbles and let the images build around that, so that it's like, yeah, because you know, people, I think we all kind of like can relate. I feel this all the time where it's like, oh, I don't want to like do the words, like the pictures are the fun part, right? But it's gonna stand out if you kind of treat it like an afterthought. And people will notice, and they'll notice that before they notice anything else.
Oh, so we have a $10 super chat by Sugar Bobcat. He said, I've read through almost all of the Quickie, but I've never touched Sonichu just to maintain my sanity. I love your work, my man. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, I feel that. After a while, Sonichu just kind of starts to grate on you, and I think Elise is going to be feeling that pretty soon.
Yeah, no, I'm coming in hopeful.
Yeah. You know, I'll let you. So let's go ahead and move on into like we've spent a long time on the cover. Let's go ahead and move in.
Okay. Well, we're getting another it's copyrighted. I like that there's the little sign copyrighted. You know, it's very complicated how copyright works. Just because you draw something doesn't mean it is legally copyrighted. Like everything we make is copyright, but technically, if you have to like argue it in a court of law, like you really should go to like a copyright office and spend all the money and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it's like made very clear that this belongs to Christian Weston Chandler. And this is actually kind of, again, like it's emulating kind of what comics do. I don't really understand this blue border though that's happening. That's a little
I think did he draw that? No way, it's too straight.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is too straight.
I think he went into MS Paint or something after scanning it or taking a photo of each page.
Yeah, that's a very interesting choice. I wonder why. Oh.
All right.
So
all right. Well, shall we zap to the extreme?
Yeah.
Get into this. All right.
Sonichu's origin.
All right. I will narrate since
Thank you.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah, please lead.
Our story begins in an open field 5 miles from the city of Station Square. Huh?
It says Mise. I'd like to correct you.
Mise. Our story begins in an open field 5 miles from the city of Station Square, which is under siege by the perfect chaos monster. While Sonic the Hedgehog ponders over the destruction, a wild boy Pikachu takes notice of the far-off destruction. Do you want to do Pikachu?
Pika?
It was a mildly sensual Pikachu. Pika. I am Christian Weston Chandler, Sonichu's creator and author of this comic. This is his story and nothing less. All Sonichu materials copyrighted March 2005 by Christian Weston Chandler. Why is it? I'm assuming that's not normal. Having more copyright messages on the bottom of the first page.
No, it kind of implies that you're very concerned with your. It's a little bit of an egotistical move, like to just keep pushing your like name on it. It actually kind of reminds me of this old like art history lesson I learned of Michelangelo. He did this sculpture called the La Pieta, which is a famous, beautiful, beautiful sculpture. It's like of like Mary holding Jesus after he's been taken off the cross.
God, I love that.
It's gorgeous. It's one of the most amazing things. But like he expresses regret later in his life because one of the things he sculpted that when he was pretty like young, early in his career, and he put a giant like across her sash is like this engraving saying like something along the lines of like Michelangelo sculpted this and it like he's the best or whatever. And like later in life, I think he expressed regret because it was like he let his ego kind of like get in the way of letting the art kind of just be and speak for itself, and just like letting yourself have confidence that like your work is yours, and if you keep making it and you keep doing it and like keep at making multiple pieces, like you're not just going to be a one-trick pony. You're going to develop like a style and an identity as an artist, and people will follow that.
Mm-hmm. So do you think like this is similar because Chris Chan really wants people to know that it's his, that like you think that this is more than just him covering his bases? He just really wants you to know. Well, I mean, I guess here's our answer. Like he actually has a drawing of himself saying he is the creator of Sonichu on the first page.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, honestly, if just let the work speak for itself. I think that's, like, of course, give yourself credit and let people know that it is you. And I mean, there is the place to do it, which is usually the cover and this little like inset, but not right in this beginning of the story. Well, okay, I also want to bring attention to something separate now.
Okay.
I was not really, I'm very interested in what's happening back here. Is that a dinosaur next to some rocks?
Maybe if we turn the page, we'll find out.
Yeah, like I'll tell you what I am liking about this. There is a kind of natural flow of like coming through from like you enter in from this side of the page, follow up, read, and then you read this text bubble and you come into this image, and then you come to Pikachu here and like immediately want to go to like the next page, which is kind of a great way to like talk about flow in comics. And it has a natural kind of rhythm to it, like in this little part, leading the eye through it in a readable manner. Mind you, there is a lot of open space around here that I'm not sure is like implying much for Pikachu's character at the moment, but
yeah. So we have a super chat. Thomas M says CWC is obsessed with his name and loves to plaster it on everything because he believes God sent an animatronic bear to grant it to him. This is correct. This is accurate. He believes that a like animatronic mall bear with a person with a microphone in the back. This person, whom he later named God Bear, asked, "What's your name, boy?" And he said, "What was it? Christopher." And the person like behind the microphone misheard it as Christian, and so he took it as a sign that he was meant to be named Christian.
Oh,
and it's very, anyway. It's special.
Is their name Christian?
Yes, used to be. It's Christine now.
Oh, it's Christine now. Okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, would we like to move?
Yes,
right
let's move
along?
on.
Cool.
But we've labored over the first page.
Well, introductions are very important. It sets up like what this story is going to be about.
It is, yeah.
Wow. Meanwhile.
All right. So this assumes that you know a little bit about Sonic. How much do you know about going fast and collecting rings?
I played some of the games when I was a kid. Yeah, that's
all right. Did you get all the story behind him getting the Chaos Emeralds and becoming super powerful? That was a thing you can do. I never played the Sonic games, like except Adventure 2.
Yeah, I just remember getting rings, really.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so he collects all 7 Chaos Emeralds and becomes this really powerful form. So he's like, and I think this monster was like the boss, the main enemy, like, or the final boss in Sonic Adventure, like the original one for the Dreamcast.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's correct.
All right.
Again, like, my Sonic canon knowledge is extremely limited.
Right.
But yeah, that's what's going on.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, so already we're getting kind of like a strange... The fact that he's established that he owns this very, very much so, but then all these characters are not his.
I think everyone is pretty much aware of these copyright issues. I don't think there's much need to go on about it.
Yeah, well... Okay, so which let's kind of like narrate through like what's happening here as best we can. Where do you think we're supposed to go?
So I think that this one is the 4th panel because like he transforms, like it's 1, 2, 3 along the top.
Okay.
I think because he's yellow in the 4th panel, and then I think that it keeps it going like that, but they sort of jam into each other.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it's just like horizontal consistently throughout this page.
Yeah, which is like what you want to be doing. Like that like you read comics from left, like at least in America, you start reading from left to right, top to bottom, right?
Yeah.
And so like you should be going like this way, but this whole little sequence starts to get complicated because you can't quite distinguish whether you're supposed to go down, because I mean like there's a lot of visual cues here, like with this blue in the background and like the fact that there's this like black I guess what you would call the gutter space trying to like lead you down almost, and it's just like this size is very consistent, but then you want to go this way. So I'm guessing you're right. Like we're following the like blue character and then the transformation into the. Is this Sonichu?
That's like there's a name for it, like supersonic ? So I'm showing off my lack of knowledge right now.
So that's already kind of a rough point. But okay, so transforms. And then we jump back to Pikachu, right? Like, so in the distance, Pikachu sees this blue guy. So that's at least like, I can read it.
It takes a minute.
Yeah. And then...
But so this is something I kind of just now noticed. So you were talking about the gutter space, wanting to lead your eye in a certain direction. It doesn't work in the top left, but they do it in the panels with Pikachu. Like, I think that's how it's supposed to... Wait, is that how it's supposed to be read? Is it...
Like this?
Oh, never mind. They did that problem again.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, and things are just, like, there's not a very good, like, edge here. And that's another thing that's really important in comics is, like, gutters. Like, I would say, like, just, I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Right, before you get ahead of yourself, someone super chatted. It's about to disappear. It said, Frederick, I adore your work. Also, you and Elise sound really great together, to be honest.
Oh.
Sorry I don't have any constructive things to add to the discussion. You know what? Makes me feel better. Thank you. I appreciate the confidence boost. Oh, actually, so if I just click on a super chat and then even if it expires, it'll stay up. Okay, good to know.
Good to know.
All right.
Well, I was
What
just
you're going to say.
getting ahead of myself. Like, you know, comics are cool in the sense that like when you have like a page spread like this, like your eye is already like kind of peeking at what's happening over here. So I don't consider it like cheating to go ahead and kind of like compare these two pages, even though we haven't quite read it yet. But like, you know, you can see with the gutters here, they're like everything's clearly distinguished, and there's like these what we call tiers. So like this panel is one tier, this like these two panels are the second tier, and then the third tier, and then the fourth tier, you know, and having that distinguishing like separating them is helps like with readability. So already I can tell that this page is so much more easy to read than like this one, where it's just like the edges are all against each other, and everything is just like blending, and I don't really like know how to follow it. But you know, like we could give it to them and say like, well, you know, this maybe it's gonna improve. Like I'm kind of hopeful that this is like the next, like it will stay like this.
Yeah, it kind of feels like he was learning.
Yeah, which is totally natural. You know, like comic artists are notoriously like, I mean, I'm sure lots of us follow like web comics that like you read like the first issue, and then like you compare it to like, you know, like they've probably done like 200 or something, and you see the most recent one, and it's like the art improves dramatically, and it's just like that's the nature of drawing a lot and doing things with practice.
Oh, there's a super chat. We like, I'm sorry I keep interrupting us.
No, that's fine.
That someone remade the first issue of Sonichu. You should take a look at that. From a visual point, it looks good. Also, nice videos. False. The person goes by the false Boolean. I think that's how it's pronounced. Boolean.
I'll let
like that's the problem with doing things live. Is I can screw up and like not realize it until way too late.
Well, let's see, then I think people are more forgiving too. You know, you're trying your best.
All right. So is there anything else you really wanted to know, or should we move on? Oh my god. Actually, I just realized it looks like Sonic is giving Pikachu a big smooch on the cheek.
In which panel? Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
I think it was supposed to be like Sonic getting hit into Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like there's a collision.
Right.
And then a rainbow happened.
Yeah, because did the rainbow help Pikachu become Raichu? Girl Raichu.
No, because it says 15 miles away.
Oh, so we're going to
the third tier.
I see. Okay, so that's typically a strange move, because when you go to cut to a different scene, you usually want to start it on like a page turn. So like at the beginning up here where you establish your shot. So that people like, you know, it's like a natural like beginning and a natural end utilizing your page space. So just going to a whole new scene in the middle is a little like jarring, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of people feel that.
Yeah, like the visual design just isn't complementing the narrative at all. It feels like the form is just kind of a vehicle for the subject matter, and the vehicle is it could be anything. So we have two super chats actually. So Sugar Bobcat has returned, and did they say something? No, it's just a $5 super chat. Thank you. Then Rainey 22 says, Frederick, I love all your videos, and this is the first donation to anyone I've ever sent. Aww. You deserve so much more attention. Stay awesome. I'll do my best. But no, seriously. Thank you guys so much. All right. Let's move on.
All right.
Next page.
All right. So a rainbow just happened in the last one.
I like how you put it. A rainbow didn't form. It didn't appear. It happened.
It happened.
I feel that's accurate.
And I feel like there's this connection between Raichu and Pikachu. Which is kind of interesting. Like visually, I'm actually very intrigued by this, you know, like this kind of like outline thing plus the like, and then what was this? Oh, is there a transformation happening here? Like a connection?
Yeah, they're like, I think like the rainbow is connecting them.
Oh.
Though I'm not entirely certain why the rainbow hit both of them.
Yeah, that wasn't made clear.
I feel like there's just a lot that isn't making sense yet.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm jinxing myself because I know what happens later. Like, later on, Chris starts abusing text
Oh,
So-
yeah, we'll talk about that because
I'm sure we will. All right, so let's continue. So at the cottage.
Raichu, I saw the gasp.
Can you read that text in there? Who are you? Where's my Pokemon?
Gasp.
Okay. I am your Pokemon. It's like Darth Rosechew.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you want to read Rosechew's lines?
Is this okay? I
So,
would.
sorry, I'm like spoiling her name.
Roachu. Okay. Well, typically you would want to introduce that, and so that people know. So we all know who's who. Like, for instance, we didn't even talk about like who's this person.
Well, they have a heart on their shirt,
Yeah.
so I'm sure they're lovely.
And are these their pockets?
Oh god, what are they?
It's kind of cute. No, they're
Oh, they're
Pokeballs.
Pokeballs.
They're Pokeballs.
Yeah, right, because she's a trainer.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That I'm getting it. Okay. Okay, so I'm reading these lines. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, we have a couple super chats before you do that, though. Someone said, "Shit, I accidentally sent that super chat without the message. But how long is the stream going to last? As long as Elise can stomach it.
Yeah. I'm again like
we
we're
have a
going in
hard
strong.
cutoff, but I doubt we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so probably a couple hours. I don't know." Then Ego Borderline says, "You're my favorite YouTube channel. Keep up all the hard work." I am. I'm doing my best. Sorry that the next episode is taking like another long period. This subject I'm doing is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And like what I'm doing, I don't think anyone has really done with the subject yet, which is putting it in chronological order. So I'm like going in and finding all this stuff and saying, "Oh," and like trying to take all this info and put it in a chronological order. So it's confusing and frustrating. Anyway, Sonichu.
But is it as confusing and frustrating as reading this so far?
I mean, I
guess we're gonna find out. We're like, let's keep going.
let's keep going. So you're as beautiful as a rose.
As a rose, I need a new name since I'm a new Pokemon. So you may call me Zabud Rosechu.
She's Spanish.
Wow. So I didn't even. That's really hard to read.
Yeah, I didn't think there was anything there. I thought it was a cliffhanger at first, and then I saw there was text in it.
Why is there a copyright symbol here?
I think it's supposed to be like...
Is this like a trademark? Like,
Yeah,
is this
I
supposed to
think
be
they
this
meant
character's
it.
new like logo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Is that necessary? Is the copyright... I don't think...
I don't think it's necessary. And I think it's a weird place to end on because it kind of feels like product placement, even though there's nothing being sold.
Well, I mean, let's think about... maybe we should retroactively call her Christine. But yeah, it's rough because like there's this whole phase of life that was very dependent upon like the name and the gender. I don't know. I don't even know how to put it.
Yeah, I'll refer
So
to
they
them as
were-
Christine.
So for the sake of simplicity, they were very influenced by like Saturday morning cartoons and things like Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, think about how Pokemon works and how Saturday morning cartoons work, like especially when they were going through it. When they were watching them, it's like they were basically product placements the whole way through, and maybe this is just their way of emulating further this sort of form.
Yeah, emulate. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of comic artists, in fact, like some of the best out there, actually take a lot of influence from animation. And oftentimes, you know, like I think a lot of comic artists, something that can be kind of like, it makes sense why people start with comic art and then like want to do like animation and like film and television. But one of the best things for like is to remember that it is its own art form, and that like if you're just trying to like pretty much treat it like a means to an end, almost like a storyboard for like animation, you're really not taking advantage of like the medium itself and what it can do that's different from animation. And then also you're not playing to its strengths, because, you know, fundamentally it's not picture, it's not animation, you know, it is sequence, it's sequential art.
So like this kind of furthers my theory, or it supports my theory that the vehicle for the story isn't the most important thing to Chris. It's just the story itself.
Yeah, like almost like they seem like they'd be ready to take on offers for like a TV show, and that this would fall wayside
like
because
this is more of a pitch.
Yeah, exactly. It's and you know, it's like kind of a bummer when comics get treated like that, because it's just, again, like saying comics aren't that important compared to like to other art forms, when it's like they're rad and we like, so many people love them. I know I personally am like, have been reading them my whole life, so.
So we have, sorry to interrupt you before we continue.
Right.
So someone clarified. For some reason the super chat didn't get pinned. Let me scroll up to find the person's name. It was Rainey again. Another $3 to help us know that it's pronounced Rosachu. Some other people are saying Rosie Chew.
Okay.
But there's like and the E is pronounced in there. Edward 18517 says, just so you're aware, this is fighting against Chaos, the god/guardian of the Chaos Emeralds. I was wondering if you ever wanted to make a comic. I mean, it's not really my medium. If a comic artist approached me and said, hey, Fred, you want to do a thing?
Dude.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it down.
I was thinking about it in the future. Maybe
really?
We might, you know, who knows? Like, I like you.
I mean, I love your art. Like,
dude, and I love your writing.
For actual real, go to EliseMcCall.com. Her art is gorgeous.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
But yeah, I was right. That's sort of the, what's happening here is what's happening in, it's like a retcon of, was it Sonic Adventure?
Oh, okay.
James Pierce says, are we safe to assume that this is the first and only crossover between Pokemon and Sonic? I mean, I'm not willing to browse fanfiction.net for anything like this, but you're welcome to find out. If you do, tweet it at me.
Although we should mention.
I feel like that's a problem. We should mention.
We have you and me specifically have browsed through DeviantArt before and looked at the extensive community of the Sonic community and the art that they make, and I gotta say, it's fantastic. It's a real joy. I really encourage everyone to do it.
It makes me happy. So Muhammad Al-Mansur says, hey dude, I loved your Empress Theresa stream and I wish you make some creative writing videos with tips and such.
You should do it.
I've been kind of considering doing like a second channel for other more creative stuff, but like every time I say, you know, I should do that, I just end up saying, you know, that's time I should be putting into down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Because I just consistently, like, I don't want to pull too much time away from that.
Well, hey, maybe in the future when you've got like more, you know, like maybe you get like a more intense process like under wraps, and then you can kind of like allow more time for it.
People are saying flirtation 101. To clarify, Elise is my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And my brother is in the room. He's right here. Say hi, Corey. Yo.
He's the husband to me.
He's the husbando.
But Fred and I are like BFFs.
We've spent hours chatting about art.
Yeah.
And Elise is way more educated on art history than I am, and every time we talk I learn, which is one of the reasons I wanted her here. Yeah,
and I learned so much about words from Fred. It's really great.
Shall we continue?
Yes. Okay, so coming from Rosachu, we are now this is kind of like the first
appearance.
I mean, I guess he was there too, which is the same pose, but like but let's give credit. The artist drew it again, you know, like this is not just like a copy paste of the same thing. Like this is a new thing that's just like drawing after it, which, you know, it's good, you know, like I think it's nice to continue instead of just copying and pasting images in comics, which can be kind of like tempting. It's nice to see things you know, hand drawn over.
Yeah. Oh, if we both had to make our own version of Sonichu, which two explicitly copyrighted characters would you combine? Asks Zaki Snacks.
That's
fusion.
Fusion.
Like Dragon Ball Z style.
Of like any Sonic character.
Of any two characters, I think.
Okay.
Any two copyrighted characters.
Okay.
God, okay, we have to think on that because we should keep going.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll consider this.
I'll consider it too.
So what? I've changed, huh? The battle is on. I've got to help. Time to zap.
Zapping. Okay, so we're going like this looks like a leap. That's some nice action happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
right.
you know, like you follow the direction, it's heading towards the right, which is very it's nice to have that, especially since you see like the motion lines in the background. So you're like, oh yeah, I want to keep going forward. I don't know where we are now though. Suddenly we're in it feels like a different space, like on maybe a candy cane, which is this, you know, spirit of Christmas and all, but this doesn't look like it's a part of the scene anymore. Or maybe I'm missing something about like the
no.
Okay. And then meanwhile, why are we meanwhiling? I thought we were in this. Oh, are they? Where did they? They are in the scene.
Yes.
So why are we meanwhiling?
I don't know.
Huh. Okay.
Maybe the next page has answers.
Okay, let's go forward.
Thunder! No, it's the same scene. Meanwhile, to literally half a second later.
And a intense roar, also done in Comic Sans.
Kind of stretched vertically to
yeah,
fit the bubble.
Yeah, it's really not pleasant to look at, I'm going to say. And then almost got him. Really, that fight ended
I think that's supposed to be Sonic on the bottom.
Wait, just Sonic?
Yeah, like Super Sonic. Like it's inconvenient because they're both yellow with like flesh tone arms.
Yeah. That actually speaks to an important thing in comic art. Something that that's really easy to do when you're beginning to like learn how to draw comics and you're like, you know, you're juggling a cast of characters, is we tend to like draw the same character but then just give them like different like hair colors or like little details that like make us feel like we can distinguish them, but like for an audience member is going to be really hard to follow along with. And so it's a way to counter that, and we all do it, like, because we have kind of like a default of like what we like to draw, and like in a lot of ways we kind of end up drawing like ourselves in a strange way, like things that like are very familiar to us.
Yeah.
And a way to counteract that is to literally just do a lot of like drawing from life to really pay attention to how things are different, especially like figure drawing. Like draw your, you know, like your mom compared to like your best friend compared to like, you know, some stranger on the street, because that will give you a real sense of like distinguishing characteristics and like how like people are different from each other and how you can like show that within comics.
So you think that a lot of this is just a symptom of Chris not having the artistic background?
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, because it's
I know that feels like the obvious thing.
Yeah, but it's, you know,
but like that's specifically what is causing these particular problems.
Yeah, it's like it's a newbie thing to do, and it's not just like Chris isn't the only one that would run into this issue. Like everybody does. I even when I was learning how to draw comics, like it was, you kind of end up going into a default mode, and it really makes people. It kind of can turn you off from like a comic when you see that, because you're just like, look at all these, like, look at this person who's just like copy and pasted all across, and it's like nobody is distinguished from one another, you know. It's not believable. It doesn't really sell you on the fact that like this is a world that exists.
Yeah, because it's so homogenous.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we continue? There's double Sonichu again.
Yeah.
Like, man, that really highlights the problem.
Yeah.
Next panel, and then the one after that, there's like a sploosh.
A sploosh. What's sploosh? Where?
In the second panel on the second page, that one.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something happening. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's like a giant wave, like kind of like it looks mushroom cloud like, you know. So I mean.
Yeah. But like it's yellow, and that's kind of been associated with electricity. Anyway, so we have a crowd yelling, "Sonic, Sonic!"
Yeah, where'd the crowd come from?
Oh, I think they just won.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. But they said almost got him, as if they needed something more. Man, that just... I like how the penultimate attack is this huge deal, and the ultimate attack is, like, a tiny panel.
Yeah. You know, I will say, I think it's cool that they chose to create, like, do this big action, like, on on a splash page, like a full page art, right? That's usually a kind of, and it was a page turn, right? And page turns, like, you kind of want to be like a dramatic moment or something that's really like, you know, worthwhile to look at. It's unfortunate again that there's like this big open space, and then like it's strange that like this isn't like the deciding factor, you know, like that we then kind of continue into this like little tiny panel that's like has something really big happen, but seems to like it feels less important because it's in such a small frame, you know.
Kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, and it's like I could see like the story, it could be cool if it just like ended on this page, right? Like if the battle was just like this was the final thing, and then we move on to like another like chapter or something.
Yeah. Oh, we have 2 super chats real quick. Williker Dinkle says, "Hey Frederick, love your videos, and I enjoyed your performance in If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech special." Aw, thank you. That was a lot of fun to do. And Elisa's Doxanosis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Elisa's comic is killer. Seriously, EliseMcCall.com. True Man pledged $5 to say, "Lol, nerd." I mean, that's just redundant. All right, later. We've had meanwhile and later. So wow, what a battle. Not only that, but I've received super speed, a new body, and above all else, I am able to talk like a human now. And apparently I look like that hedgehog I helped earlier. From the cheers, I guess his name was Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic had just about the same abilities as I do now, and I guess I am now a hedgehog now too. I am a new Pokemon. I am no longer a Pikachu, so with inspiration, I am now Sonichu. And from then on, Sonichu went on to make new friends as well as enemies, and he will use his abilities to stop evil and to save the world. Stay tuned for more Zappin' Adventures of Sonichu. He's got a nice mohawk going on.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You know, the double eye color is also interesting, unique. You know, harkening back to what we were talking about with the animation and everything, like the almost like wanting this to just be a vehicle to get towards something else. This feels so much like, you know, like the end of like a Pokemon episode, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I can totally read that last bit.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that part of Pokemon. You always have the narrator who's like, and from then on, Sonichu went on to make new friends as well as enemies.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, the kind of like, now I'm going to wrap it up for you guys, and then we're going to like start with like a intro the next episode. It's very much like animation, or even like early superhero comics, you know, like that kind of over dramatic kind of verbose language that's a little unnecessary. I can already tell, like, this is gonna get pretty wordy, isn't it?
oh man, you don't know the half of it.
Like, this is too many words.
Wait a minute, hold on. Internet historian just pledged $5 to say, "Swiggity swooty, gimme that Newtson booty."
Good.
Thanks, internet historian. Means a lot.
And funny enough, it's Corey over here. His Twitter handle is Nudie Booty, so it's in the family.
And then my Twitter handle is Fred in the Nude.
Yeah, I really appreciate your guys' name.
I remember when you discovered it, you specifically pointed it out for me. So, like, thanks, internet historian dude. For those who don't know, he's someone who does videos similar to what I do, but specifically focusing on, like, 4chan shenanigans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I should check those out.
Yeah. He's also a pretty cool guy.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. Let's see. Writes, "Whoa there, this is untrue and dishonest copyright infringement. Better cough up to Chris, Freddy."
I don't think I've ever heard you called Freddy.
Yeah. Doesn't happen a lot. Hey, and then before we continue, one person, RWD Please 1, writes, "Love the Down the Rabbit Hole series. Keep it up. I'll do my best." All right, let's continue.
Yeah. Okay,
I feel like we keep getting sidetracked.
No. I mean, there's lots to take in, especially with this comic. Also, let's bring up, like, So Rosachu got a whole logo, but Sonichu, who this is all based on, did not get his logo drawn above him. We just got text. So I'm a little like disappointed with that inconsistency. I would have liked to see the Sonichu logo right here.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just a nitpicky thing. Let's move on. Oh, what's this?
Oh boy. So this is where we get into the more this is where it becomes really obvious that this is a pitch, like for a show.
Yeah.
As the creator of Sonichu and his world, I feel that I should take you on a trip to learn more. Besides, I promised my other hedgehogs as well. So let's tour my section of the cartoon world. He wants it to be a show.
Yeah.
Like he just literally says it. The comic title is Sonichu. By that, we man the saga of the electric hedgehog Pokemon. Location, it is set in and around the city of Quickville, a vibrant community with good people and average amount of cool places to chill at. I am the mayor. He's not just the creator and the narrator, but also the mayor.
I love it.
Characters. This is Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon and main character. Age, 16 years. Hobbies, running, surfing, chillin', mostly outdoor activities. Other facts. He enjoys the scenery around him. His favorite colors are yellow and blue. And he enjoys popular music. And he loves Rosachu.
Oh. Look at this little smiley face.
I know, right? So let's see. Next up, Rosachu is a spunky and very beautiful girl electric hedgehog Pokemon. I like the necessity to point her out as a girl. So like Sonichu exists and also there's a girl. To be fair, that's in keeping with cartoons. All right. Age 15. Hobbies, frolicking through the field. Shopping at Quickville. It's been a long time since I've read this. Shopping at Quickville Mall and cooking. Convenient. Her original trainer is the caring girl Kel. Rosie is Rosechu's nickname, and she likes to pick flowers. Her favorite flower is the Zap Bud. She always keeps her heart saved for her Sonichu.
God. Okay.
Yeah. Kel is Rosechu's caring Pokemon trainer. Nate Cirque is the son of Team Rocket boss Giovanni. Black Sonichu, a.k.a. Blatchu, he is Sonichu's evil twin. He was created in Giovanni's lab from Sonichu's DNA with an accidental dose of cherry cola.
Oh.
I feel like we're getting to know the characters before we actually like get their because we get the origin stories of all of these people.
Yeah.
This feels like putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, this feels almost like what I would talk about as what are they called? There's these things called like character sheets where you you kind of draw out like your character in multiple like ways. You draw out their face and head. You kind of like break down like certain things about them, so as almost like a reminder for yourself while you're drawing, and like, you know, almost creating little profiles. But I don't think that these are very helpful to be shown to like us, you know, like this is, it kind of is like the difference between summary versus like exposition in writing, you know, like where I don't really, I'd rather, you know, like show don't tell, like I'd rather see these characters introduced and like get the feel of like how bad they are and such, instead of being like told like this is their profile, like almost like a card game, you know, like this feels like what should be on like a trading card. You
can start to see his inspiration a little bit more as time goes on.
And again, it's not really like in the vein of like comics.
Yeah, I feel like this is a common theme among delusional artists. I think it's why vanity presses got so popular and like self-publishing is so popular, is because people feel like they have this genius idea and they need to get it out there. Like if only the world could see it. Yeah. Because it's the concept that's important, not the delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked to an artist lawyer, like a lawyer who specifically specializes in helping artists understand like legalities and all that stuff. And she talked about that, in fact, that like there are two kinds of like artists out there. There's the ones that have like the single idea, like they've got the one big idea and they're banking everything they have on that. And then there's like, you know, the artist who's just working and keeps making and like is kind of like is I think a more sustainable model, because you're creating and you're going to keep creating and like growing as an artist, versus this idea that like you only have like one idea and one project and like you're putting all your eggs in that basket. But like from her perspective as a lawyer, she was saying like that's super risky, you know, like as someone who studies and manages risk as a concept, it's like you don't want to just like rely on one thing alone, because should things go wrong, like it could just fall apart, right? Like you lose everything and, you know, then you're like torn down by it. Whereas if you're more sustainable and like just keep making work of all variety, you'll do all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like we've kind of covered this. Let's move on.
Yeah. Oh, there's more.
I know for a fact that this comes up later in the comics. Like all of this info gets rehashed in like proper comic form. I feel like this is almost redundant at this point. We could just skip this almost.
Yeah. I mean,
like, oh, actually, go back because mysterious origins. 3 more electric hedgehog Pokemon will rock Quickville. By the way, that's how it's pronounced. Quickville. CWC is Christian Weston Chandler initials. So, and then he just portmanteaued it. So in case you needed. Like, it's a town named after the mayor.
Yep. And creator.
And creator. And narrator. But yeah, I feel like this is just, you know, more character introduction. We'll get to it. Yada, yada.
Yeah. Continue. Let the comic speak for itself. That's what we're here for.
Now, a couple of 2-bit villains. I wouldn't even give 2 cents for them. Jerkops and Slawwheel the Witch. It'll become more obvious later, but they have real life inspirations. Oh,
that's right. You were talking about that in your video.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Then there's me, the intrusive creator in Sonichu's story. I appreciate the honesty. Yeah. Christian Weston Chandler. Basics, 5'10", born on February 24th, 1982. I'm working towards a computer-aided drafting and design degree at Piedmont, Virginia Community College. I am also single, lonely, and I need a girlfriend. To describe myself in real life, I'm a very creative person. I enjoy playing video games, Sonic the Hedgehog, Pokemon, and Animal Crossing. I also like to build with Lego pieces, and I enjoy most kinds of music. Apostrophe. I am also fascinated with the Transformers. I also play the Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card games, so nice call on the trading cards.
Yeah.
Please enjoy the rest of this comic, and for more information on Sonichu, check out CWC's Sonichu site. And then he literally just puts a URL in the comic.
This is so fascinating. Like, I just want to talk a little bit about, like, kind of, like, the theory around this, like how we, especially like this kind of consumer culture we live in America, right? And like how we're so influenced by like popular media and advertising, and how much that's just coming out in the early stages of this art, you know, like how much like there's just pitch after pitch after pitch instead of like any sort of like substantial like artwork or like character building or, you know, story. There's no story. It's just a lot of like kind of shallow advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's single.
Yeah.
And lonely.
I know,
and he needs a girlfriend.
It's a pitch for
himself.
Yeah.
God. Okay, let's continue. Sonichu in episode 2, Genesis of the Love Hogs.
Ooh, okay. Gonna get romantic.
Like, this is where it becomes really obvious how badly he's projecting himself. Not only onto Sonichu, but like his own character in the okay. So, since my transformation, my new bigger body needs more food than before, and nuts and apples can't cut it. It's been over a week now, and I'm so hungry. Not only that, I feel so lonesome.
What?
Huh? So like I think it's supposed to be sort of like an anime pose. Sort of thing. He does this multiple times where he like has this gorgeous, the what's the word for it? Surreal background. He does this a lot.
Kind of like flat, and it's very yeah, I can't give you, and you know, I can see he's doing some interesting things with the angle, you know, bringing attention to this is an over the shoulder shot, and so we're like looking at like with his gaze, which is a good shot composition. It's always a classic thing to fall back on. But, there's a lot of focus on this. I want to ask you too, like, I think it's kind of interesting how the words here, like being very hungry and then talking about loneliness and like this kind of,
it's
like,
kind of like shoved into the panel there.
Yeah. But like, like the words, like, what do you feel about like that kind of implication of like hunger and then like this kind of like sexual loneliness, right? Like it's weird.
And then he sees something, like he talks about how hungry he is, and then like he gets this glamour shot of someone. It almost implies like cannibalism.
Yeah, it's very odd. And we get a big question mark. That's kind of neat. I like that visually. It kind of breaks up like just the scene. And I think using kind of like expressive like characters, like little images like these are can be really fun. But I don't really know that we need it, right? Like we've already got the
like there's a lot of redundancy in here. Like I feel like just the shots of him, it reminds me a lot of Empress Theresa in that like every detail needs to be absolutely clear because the vision is so important.
Yeah. Well, where's she running off to?
That's a good question.
Let's find out.
Actually, there's something I'd like to do real quick.
Yeah.
I want to turn up the mics just a tad because I can. All right, that's as high as I can go. Let's continue. 15 minutes later. God, that text is tiny. I feel like the text was really an afterthought.
Yeah, no, I mean,
panels.
like I said, do your text first. Treat it with the same love you do your drawings, because that like people will notice it and it will all just fit together way better. Like again, the art itself is not so bad actually. Like I could get behind it if everything was consistent with it, like if the text matched it stylistically.
Let's see. So she lives in that cabin, huh? And with her trainer, maybe I can. How did he figure out she was a Pokemon? I feel like there's a lot that's just kind of he implicitly knows. So, well, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse now. Well, come on, I'm fixing some Brunswick stew.
So.
So? What? I don't know. Anyway, since my transformation last week, I felt so lonesome because there's no other Pokemon like me to love. Aw, relax, Rosie. What about my Dragonite, David? He's She tried to play matchmaker. Oh, come on, Kel. David's just too big for me. Phrasing.
Boom.
Well, can't say I didn't try. Hey, for all we know, your love could be just around the corner. Sorry I'm talking so slow. It's really hard to read this text.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like hanging over Lisa's shoulder awkwardly.
Yeah, and you know why you're also reading it slow? When things are capitalized, they naturally make your brain like slow down to read it. And I mean, comics do this because they tend to like have just little bubbles, right? Where it's like, oh, like, hello, like that's fine, but when you've got like this like dense of text and it's all like stacked on it, I mean, like, I'm sure I'm not the only person who's like seen comics where you're like, oh man, look at this like big chunk of text that I really don't feel like reading, because it's just jammed in there and it feels like, like this. There's no room for the artwork here.
You can see like half of her eye. But like, look at all the white space to the right.
There could have been like enough room to like give this the breathing space it needs, but it just.
What? You know what I'll bet happened is the panels were drawn before the content was really well known.
Right. That you're probably correct there, where like it was just kind of blocked in, and then like it was. I mean, it's weird. It's like it seems like it was drawn with just like pencil, so I mean, like it could have been erased, but that I guess we make the choices we make.
It's a creative decision.
Yeah.
Oh, or right at the door? What is that? Oh, around the corner or right at the door.
I'll get that. Hello, how may I?
Hey. Like, so let's just consider, like, how long has Sonichu been wandering the forest? Like, without showering or eating. Like, you basically just have this strange, mangy thing, inexplicable thing at your front door talking to you.
Just, hey.
Hey. Like, I read it as a sort of, hey.
Like, Sonichu's, like,
voice, like, throat's dry.
Been smoking and drinking in the woods for, like, 30 years.
I'm just a wild one. You're not helping your case. Maybe they found some deodorant plants. Hadn't eaten much for over a week. Can you help me out?
I don't believe it. A handsome Pokemon who is
oh,
like
man. Me. I think I've is got to like learn me about him.
Oh my god. Okay, thank you for helping me there. I don't think I would have gotten it on my own. Typically, we don't want to do this either. Breaking a text bubble with an image and then putting text on either side, it makes it very confusing to read.
What about Sonichu is so attractive? Is it just like any port in the storm?
What do you mean?
Like just, oh, hey, look, it's another thing like me. I'll take it. I'll take 12.
Come on in.
Whoa!
So what's your name?
Sonichu.
My name's Roseichu, but you can call me anytime.
Oh, right. He's still got the hobo voice. How about I call you Rosie?
I think she likes that.
Oh, there's supposed to be like hearts in a heart pattern.
Oh,
it took me a moment.
Okay, that's kind of I like that.
It's kind of cute.
That's cute. That's a little inventive. Hey, Kel, we have a guest.
Oh my god, turned into Voldemort. Got a face growing out of the back of her head.
Or Janice from mythology. Is anyone like?
Oh yeah. Or if anyone plays Ascension Twofold Escara, anyone? Overpowered BS. Okay. That's my nickname. Okay. Boy, I thought I was the speedy one. Well, I think she's cute anyway.
Oh, she's moving too fast for their relationship right now.
Too fast. Cool. Gotta go fast.
Sonic can't handle it going too fast. All right, I get it. Excuse me, Sonichu. Who is it, Rosie? The stew's almost ready and I... Kel, this is Sonichu. He wishes to break bread with us.
Did I mention that, like, Christian is a hardcore... What was, at least, a hardcore Christian?
Really?
Yeah.
So that's going to come up...
God makes appearances.
God makes
not like directly, I don't think, but, like, I think God comes up multiple times, as I recall.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, I keep spoiling stuff for you.
No, I'm of the belief that, like, in comics, like, I spoil stuff for myself all the time, but I still get excited to read comics.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to take it away?
Wow, another hedgehog Pokemon and a male for Roseichu. Ah, this must be fate. It's nice to meet you, Sonichu. Have a seat with Risey. The stew's almost ready. Rosie, entertain your new boyfriend. So it's official. So what's your favorite color?
Forced Monty Python joke. One night, a few days later. So I feel like we've already talked about all the things wrong with this. God, like that face of like Roseichu in the back of her head.
Where?
Like right there.
Oh, this.
So uncomfortable. Like I get what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like looking back and forth. Like
yeah.
What is missing here that makes that work?
Well, typically, you know, when that's being used, that's like a kind of, it's like overlapping action. And you've probably seen it happen a lot in like superhero comics when you want to show like a character moving across a space, you know, and it's almost, it lends itself to be kind of similar to animation to show like an action happening in one panel by like showing the character in multiple different spots. And naturally your mind is going to like fill in that gap and be like, ah, yes, this character is moving around. This doesn't quite work because it's so small, and it's like there's not a really good reason to have this kind of choice being made right here. You know, like if you see like Wonder Woman leaping over a car or something, which I think like Scott McCloud even like talks about in Understanding Comics. Like you're like, you want to see like that action, and that's like kind of like a nice continuous thing to do there. But like for a character just like turning their head to like say something, it like, why do we need that? You know, like
it's not extreme enough.
Yeah, and we don't even. I could just do without this entirely, and she could still just be saying like, we have a guest, that's my nickname, and you know, be looking longingly into Sonichu's eyes.
Yeah, it's just implied movement.
Yeah.
Oh, also Ark's helping me out here. I missed, so apparently I don't get I have a super chat up here by Dobu that says Chris was also influenced by anime. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. Excel Saga particularly, thus the heterochromia, random anime poses, and butchered Japanese. So the so-so is supposed to be like the Japanese soul.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I understand. Or okay.
Oh,
and then Ark is helping me out here. Someone, so Snakekez wrote, "Good job on all the videos. Have a Merry Christmas." Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you too. It's the holiday season. Christmas is just a couple days away.
Miss any others? I might have missed a lot of them because less than $5 doesn't seem to get pinned. But yeah, seriously, thank you to everyone who's like been super chatting. It helps. It actually does really help.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we continue?
Yeah. Did it go?
Like, I want to appropriately thank the people who are super chatting, but at the same time, I don't want to slow this down. It's a really rough push and pull. Okay. So, it sure is.
Isn't the night sky so romantic? Okay, so is this supposed to actually... This is a great example of, like, this should have come first, right? Because what? The previous page, one night... So... She asks a question.
Wait. Oh, yeah, it's right to left.
Yeah, which is...
What? You know what? I bet he drew it and then realized the dialogue he wanted was backwards, and so he just missed it?
No, you know what I think?
Anyway.
Yeah,
continue.
No, I think they may have been... like run into is suddenly this character is on the left side and this character is on the right side, and they didn't know how to make it so like the text bubbles could match their speaking without confusing, like, oh, is he saying what she's saying, and vice versa. But there's so many ways you can remedy that within, like, when you're, you know, drawing comics and figuring out the text. Like, you could stack them sort of like down here you see like there's a stacking happening, and then show the appropriate like tails of the text bubbles matching the mouths. So but this just is like weird. I mean, another question we could ask, I mean, like, it might be, I wonder if it might be related to the anime influence that you, like the manga, because you know, manga reads right to left instead. So maybe it was like, you know, I've talked to friends who, like, sometimes because they like read a lot of manga, they'll actually like get it confused in their head and realize I accidentally drew this page backwards, you know?
Okay, so a couple of people have super chatted, by the way, below $5, and I've missed a couple. So Ark is going to help me out, and they're going to send me the all the ones that don't get pinned, because anything under $5 for some reason doesn't get pinned. So I'm gonna get them. Don't worry. You will. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. All right, let's continue.
I could just sit here and look at it for hours with you.
Yeah, but then we'd fall asleep together. Is that a okay? And I wouldn't have it any other way, Rosie.
Oh, Sonichu, I'm so happy with you. I love you.
With a heart for an O.
That's cute.
And I love you, roast you. As often as birds tweet, you are my lovely heart sweet. Oh, Jesus.
I love it.
I forgot about that.
You are my lovely heart sweet.
Again.
I love it. Oh, my God. Oh, Sonichu.
And then, oh, yep, the whole fireworks trope. You know what? they look like Simpsons characters
Yeah.
in that panel because of like
Their
the mouth
mouth.
skin.
Yeah, and the way
like
that
the
it's
beard.
yeah. You know what's I would even say like this panel is so unnecessary. This like kind of like I understand that it's probably being used to be like, ah, yes, here's the slow like they're going in to kiss each other, which is a little strange because they close their eyes and just open their mouths. But
yeah, Ko's pose says the kissing frame makes it look like Sonichu is eating her lips. Thanks, Ko's pose.
just sucking on them. I would be for pacing wise, I think it'd be much more successful to just jump from this to this because you get the feel like you know what's about to happen without this, and this is a way more again like a nice dramatic page and it's a great like punctuation mark, right? But this kind of like slows it down unnecessarily.
Yeah, what this like the feeling that I get is that he either thought like, oh, there's a bunch of space down here and I need to fill it with something, or like the moment before the kiss is really important
right
to the author.
Yeah, which like that can
like,
also
to be fair, like yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
Like that, like sure. I get that.
Yeah. And I mean if that is really like they really want that, it's not entirely unsuccessful in the sense that like it's a long panels like this that span like across like horizontally. We tend to read them slower, so it does feel like this very kind of like you're slowing down to see this. But again, like I just feel like this is enough, right? Like,
yeah,
this is
it could be shorter.
Yeah,
like always make it shorter if you can.
Well, yes and no. Like I think,
well, yeah, I guess that's not a hard and fast rule.
Yeah, it's sort of like each, if it's important to you and if it is, it's like you definitely do this kind of thing. I just kind of like being a little like snappier, especially since this comic has since shown that it's taking influence from like animation and like drama and being really like action packed and in its influences. So like this feels more kind of like related to like shoujo manga, like or romantic dramas that tend to be paced slower and way more about the character building, character drama.
Though to be fair, like they fell in love over the course of like 3 pages.
That's true.
Also I want to point out they're like holding tails and they're making a little heart with them. Like so much of this could potentially be really cute.
Yeah,
and it is actually kind of cute.
There are great details. I even kind of like how this scene, like the composition of it, like
it's not original, but it's a good composition.
Yeah, it's classic. Like these characters like together, very central composition, and then like we get this night sky that's like big and expansive, and the fireworks. It's like classic romance. But again, a little out of place from what we've like seen so far of what this comic kind of wants to be.
Yeah, like the tone's already been set, and now it's wildly swapping tone, and it's jarring. Okay, so so Scave Rat for €2 said next up, complete time cube read. Okay, let's continue. Right. We have an advertisement for the Sonichu game. In case it wasn't clear that like this was meant to be a sprawling franchise.
Again, though, like this is so fascinating to me because it's just emulating what comics do, which is like and other kinds of media, which is when you're reading a comic, they tend to put ads like in the middle of an issue while you're reading through, and it's like it's interesting to see like that carrying over. Like that's the influence of like advertising on our culture, that like a newbie to the art form would choose to like add that because it's like it seems important enough,
Yeah, like it's a part of the formula that they have to hit.
Yeah.
To get that feeling that they're looking for.
Which is so interesting. I think you could like write a lot about that. As far as art theory and such goes.
So Spear asks, when we gonna get to Chris Chan and his oversized straw? If it doesn't come up in the comic, I think we will get to it, but if we don't, I'll make sure Elise sees it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I'm looking forward to a straw, okay.
Thank you.
So
yeah, this is episode 3. Nate Sirk, son of Giovanni, Team Rocket, Brighter. Okay, sorry, I need to lean in. Brighter than light. Surrender now or prepare to fight.
please, Rosachu, now.
No, release Rosachu.
Oh, release. Okay, sorry.
She got... Okay, so this is like a prologue.
Okay.
Then we will...
Fight.
Oh, fight. Oh, his hair got in the way. Okay.
Yep.
Then we will... fight. Zapdos, go! I can't believe this, even after what happened earlier when Kel had to run some errands at Quickville Mall and allowed Rosie to borrow her credit card. Kel entrusted me to make sure Rosie didn't spend over $100. What's going on?
That's so weird.
Oh, right. Okay, so at first it was easy due to her willpower, but then with all the sales and coupons...
Again, this money fascination.
You guys get it? Women spend lots of money. Ha ha ha. Let's steer away from this one and just continue.
God.
Maybe.
$20 for this lovely bracelet? Wait, 75% off? All right.
Well, I'm not Superman.
What does that mean? Okay, so is this your lines?
Adam W says, I showed you my dick, answer me. Also, this is the best Christmas present I've ever gotten. And then has an emoji of a menorah. That my favorite Christmas menorah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thankfully, Kel gave me cash for lunch, but how was I to know that cheeseburgers had pickles?
Ah, that salad was great. What's wrong, Sweet Bolt?
I hate pickles. I like the off-brand Burger King in the background. Burger Crunch.
What is this? The bun is in your mind?
The bun is in... What? Is that a reference? Hold on, I'm looking this up. I'm gonna Google it.
Burger Crunch. I love it.
Take over for a moment.
Okay. Well, and then there's like a shattering.
Oh, it's an Aqua Teen Hunger Force. No, it's a Space Ghost reference.
Oh,
Yeah.
duh. Okay.
The bun is in your mind.
Wow, like just throw in everything we can, right? Like
Yeah, I feel
all
like
media.
all these references that just do not add anything.
Yeah, but again, like I've been saying, like I think that it says something about like the influence of other media on people when you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, who hasn't? Like I know when I was starting to draw, like I just drew so much like anime and comics and other things.
Writing.
Yeah, you emulate. That's part of learning. In fact, it's like you emulate, and then you have to at some point like steer away from it, and you can't like, claim it as yours, like you made it. Like none of this character is theirs, but like you can totally like in your own time like do this. In fact, you can learn a lot from other art forms by doing that. But this is strange because it's just emulating not the art form of comics or like any particular thing. It's emulating like advertising, and like the surface stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like she was attempting to emulate how franchises are built rather than any specific art form. This isn't a comic, this is a part of a franchise.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, his Zapdos snatched my love. Help!
Which brings us up to date. Please excuse me while I save my girlfriend.
Oh, look at that exclamation mark. And I guess he's rolling, right?
And then the glass is shattering. You see an arrow pointing.
Where?
It says shatter. Look on the far right of the page.
All right. Sky uppercut, drill peck, mega kick, wing attack, double team.
These are actual Pokemon moves, by the way.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is I see 3 figures here.
Yeah, that's like, so in the Pokemon animated series, I remember when a Pokemon would use double team, the idea was they moved so fast that they were harder to hit. But
I see.
The way they animated it was they just cloned the Pokemon around. So it's like if you've like Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
Where he like but like different. It's not like each one is its own independent thing.
Yeah.
God, it's been forever since I've watched that.
Yeah, but
I remember that.
It's there. It's with you.
It's like Kagebunshi no Jutsu.
Oh
my god, the memories. God, that show sucked. Okay.
No, it was great. Are you kidding me? That was one of my things that I emulated.
Yeah?
I drew so much Kakashi to learn how to draw.
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I think what I'm remembering most is having to skip through like 50 episodes at a time to get through filler.
Yeah, there was a lot of
memory.
filler.
That's my memory.
But
of
if you read the
Naruto.
manga,
we're getting sidetracked.
sorry.
Again. This happens a lot when we chat. By
yeah,
the way,
we get excited. Confused Zapdos. I'd be way like more excited. I get like
Wait a
it's
minute.
again, it's a franchising thing,
Yeah.
but like I like the pictures, like I'd be fine to just like let this action kind of be like, oh yeah, look at, because this is actually very clear action happening, like this jumping down and like this peck coming at you.
Like the art isn't super clear about everything that's happening, but the poses aren't bad, and like the shots aren't bad.
No.
The framing isn't the worst.
No, it's like it's legible and you can follow along. And again, like when you're doing action, like by all means, like this is even kind of like a little bit slow. Like I would, when you look at like superhero comics, another great example, they'll do these dramatic long like slashes across the page as far as like panel composition, because you want the action to be like moving really fast and and like to feel like it's going quicker.
Yeah.
So final blow countdown.
Oh shit.
10,
9,
9,
8,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
and then go.
Man. Hey, I couldn't miss out on this.
What?
I don't get it.
I had to see the destruction of...
Wait, but Double Team doesn't actually clone. Is that what he's implying? That like the real him grabbed Rosachu, and then the copies are attacking? But like that's not what Double Team does.
No, see, look, there's all these...
They all disappear, I think.
No, they're still there.
Oh, okay.
See, wow, we're like
God,
really...
okay, like we were saying, hey, this is all so clear, and then now we're just confused.
Yep.
Nope. So someone pointed out that these are likely traced on the left page. Chris is infamous for tracing.
Yeah, I was just actually reading about that. It's called in comics. The official term is swiping.
Swiping.
Yeah. And a famous artist who did that was Bill Finger, the guy who illustrated, or he likes to claim, no, not Bill Finger, Bob Kane. Bob Kane is the guy who claims that he is the sole creator of Batman, but Bill Finger was the guy who did most of the like art and like a bunch of the story character concepts that we know about Batman. But Bob Kane like copyrighted it and put his name everywhere, not unlike like Chris Chan here. And he, like, Bob Kane was notorious for swiping and, like, tracing other people's work and just using everything because they didn't have an original idea to
Used a lot of ghost artists, too, you mentioned.
Yes,
a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember you bringing him up.
Yeah, so it's interesting. There's that relationship.
So Val Snowchild says, as someone who made comics like these when I was very young, it's interesting to hear your comments on how media and culture affects people starting out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're
good.
helping. No, for real. Like, I hope this is helping prospective comic artists out there. Like, that's
make comics.
That's the reason I pulled Elise in, is because this is not my field at all, and I'm really glad that you agreed to come on and help.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I loved. And here's the thing too. Like, I think it's amazing too that like even Chris Chan did this. It's like, comics are a hard thing to do, and like the first step is really just making stuff. But we all know the story. We've seen the video, right, of your Sonichu and Chris Chan.
I think most people here, are
and
at least aware of it.
Yeah, and it's like, we know, feel what you will and say what you will about the Chris Chan's character, but I can still get excited about talking comics, no matter how rudimentary or how good they are.
Yeah. So someone pointed out in the chat, except he wasn't very young when he drew this. Yeah, but he was new.
Yeah, like...
And so, like, I don't think it's fair to say you're old, therefore you should be good at everything.
Yeah, no, in fact, that's like, that can really hinder people's choice to learn something new, right?
Yeah.
Like you can start your like art career anytime. Like you don't feel like you're a has-been. I mean, just think about like, you know, I know so many wonderful like people who went into retirement and like they were suddenly like, I have time now. I'm going to learn how to paint with watercolors, you know?
Totally.
And it's like, do it, you know? There's nothing stopping you.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue. So words of encouragement.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced that he thinks Double Team clones your Pokemon or something.
Also, I want to ask you, am I thinking correctly? Did Christian play fighting games, or was I thinking about someone else? No,
that's DSP.
That's DSP.
No, that's a completely different person.
Okay. Because that last moment, that countdown really felt like a fighting game kind of move.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he'd been drawing since high school, so like 5 years before this. Quoth Revolver Ocelot. Did I pronounce that weird? Ocelot. Revolver Ocelot.
That
okay.
sounds good.
Okay, so enjoy your victory now, Hedgehog, but we will meet again. And when we do, I will capture you for my father and Team Rocket. Let's go, Raikou. Is that how you... Daiko? Because in Japanese it would be Daiko. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to go with that.
And then,
Hooray!
Hooray!
And again, we have like the double face. Except we
Yeah.
have a little bit of motion line going on now.
Yeah, but really, it feels like this is so like
More
Janus.
Yeah,
It's
more,
like,
more Janus.
yeah. Is
Or
it Janus?
I think it was Janus.
Is it Janus? I
I'm
believe
going off of Utopia, the show. Like
okay.
Janus is a motif.
Yeah,
that shows
yeah.
up a lot.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Good show, by the way.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't seen Utopia,
I haven't.
it's really good.
Also, this panel is kind of strange in how much space it takes up. It's a very long panel
Yeah,
to
it
show
kinda-
this character leaving. Like, I really don't need this much attention here. Also, interesting little note. You can see the like whiteout here,
He was going to write something there.
but changed their mind.
Yeah.
Well,
Or, I'll bet they couldn't figure out how to slant text.
oh yeah, that's actually that's a tough one. I think that's even tough for me. Like, but I use the help of Photoshop and other kinds of image editing programs to get that right. So,
I think, also, I imagine the way that I see the frame of Nate Cirque leaving is like, let's go, Raikou.
I know it's like a little measly, like a little runaway.
All right, shall we continue?
Yeah.
Also, I think the Zapdos being zapped at the red laser was it being returned to the Pokeball.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you, Sonichu.
Memories.
You're my hero, Sweet Bolt. I was astounded with with how you battled, Sonichu. You rock.
Thank you, Sonichu. Oh, as mayor of Quickville, I congratulate you on your victory, and I thank you for saving the day. Good job, Sonichu. Why does Sonichu need Chris's approval in the first... Oh, right.
Mayor.
Wait a minute.
Wouldn't you want the approval of the mayor?
I guess. All right, epilogue. Well, Sonichu, I feel this comic book is my best work yet. I think so too, Father. But wow, Father.
Father!
Man, I'm having flashbacks to Tales of Symphonia now. Father. Also, you can see where he used a straight edge and then ran out of room at the top of the right page.
Gave up. It's interesting that they use straight edges around the pages, but not for the panels, I wonder what that's about. Like, because I like hand-drawn panels, honestly. Like, I think that, especially with the panels match the image, right? Not the text. The text is still, like, very odd. But, like, this is all consistent. But then, like, they make this choice that doesn't really, is not very consistent.
Doesn't add anything.
And it's complicated because you know what you can run into? If you're, like, comics, like, they come from a tradition of like being printed, right? And this is following in that tradition because it's like we've got the very traditional page spreads, This is like like you're seeing it happen where it's like this is just a nightmare because if you print this, it's gonna be like you're gonna get these weird like edges and it's never gonna be consistent and it's just gonna bring attention to like a poor print job or like a weird choice. So why would you bring attention to it?
Okay, so I'd like to point out, I misread it, is As mayor of Quickville, I congratulate you on your victory. Oh, dear. Okay. Wow, all this fantastic creativity, and you still are girlfriend-free? It bothers me. It bothers me, too, but I never give up. I'll find a boyfriend-free girl around my age yet. Well, I gotta go to Charlottesville's mall to try again. So, good luck, Pop.
Virginia.
Yeah, so he lives in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's gendering this is so hard. Like, gender is hard surrounding Chris because, like, the character is male in this part of the comic, and then, like, the person identifies as female, but then, like, the character later becomes fit. It's really hard to swap everything around.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this was when... So what Chris would do is they would go to the mall with a sign, and like they called it an attraction sign, with like his requirements for a boyfriend-free girl. Like they couldn't be black, they had to be white, they had to be his age or younger, like 18 to his age year old, couldn't be autistic. Like I can't remember all of them. Can't smoke, can't drink. It was a surprisingly long list.
I can't even it's so it hurts. It hurts me to think about it. Very cringe.
Okay, so there he goes with a grin on his face. In the end, he'll say, "One girlfriend, please." Oh.
Oh, God. Why? Who are you ordering from?
Because he'll probably fail again. Fuck you, Sonichu. At least his expectations were tempered.
I'm proud to have a brave father, though. Oh, it's such a hopeful child, but realistic too.
The best part is it was Chris writing this.
Yeah,
there's a certain amount of self-awareness.
I know.
Because the weird thing is, he has a self-insert, but also Sonichu is his avatar.
Yeah,
in it, it's this really strange, narcissistic sort of roster. Which,
I mean, let's be real. I mean, no matter what you create, it's always going to be a portrait of yourself, you know? Even if it's not explicitly, you can't uncreate what is coming out of you, you know? Even minimalist and supposedly objective art, it's still coming from a point of reference and a context within the time frame that you're creating. So I don't feel it's too weird to project a bunch of stuff onto of yourself into this character, but it is just, I mean, there's so much ego here that we've seen already, with the copyright and all this stuff. So it's a little much.
All right, shall we continue?
Yeah, look, there's signature down here.
Yeah.
This is weird too. Let's just bring attention, not that it's just a signature, but why would you sign a comic page, you know? That's not how comics work, you know?
Because there's white space that needs to be filled.
No, but it's weird. It's this is what you would do with a painting or a drawing, you know? That comes from that tradition. So that's another strange kind of influence entering in, but it's not pop culture media at all. It's just but it's this tradition, which, you know, might come from they were taking in art classes, right? So
yeah. All right. Oh, classic Sonichu strips.
Again. Oh my god. And then this is cool. Okay, let me preface.
This is a manga thing, I think.
No, I was kind of thinking it's more old comics from newspaper strips, you know, kind of it's got this format that's very almost in the tradition of cartooning.
Yeah.
And classic Sonichu strips, the comic strip, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird because we've had manga and superhero kind of mashup, and now we're getting this different kind of language of comics.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get right into it. Sonichu comic strips drawn before the comic book. Oh, so this is classic.
Yeah. This is him like recycling old material.
Is this supposed to, you know, like in comics where you see they'll be like, look at the process that like led up to this.
Yeah.
So I guess this is kind of that.
Nobody wants to watch the process behind down the rabbit hole. It's really boring to watch. Just by the way.
Lots of clicking.
Oh,
Okay.
so Tail Sweet says, thanks for saying that age doesn't matter when starting art. I used to feel discouraged that I started being serious into art at 12. Love both of you.
Oh.
Aw. No, really, like there is, yeah. If you want to do art, do it. Like I picked up a new instrument like 6 months ago, which, by the way, I'm not going to say what it is, but it is going to be the subject of a later down the rabbit hole. No, it's weird as all get out. Anyway, spoilers. Let's move on. We keep getting sidetracked.
Okay, introducing Matonic and Vamprosa.
I keep getting sidetracked.
And Sonichu plus Metal Coat plus Trade equals Matonic, and Rosichu plus Highest Friendship plus Level Up in Midnight Hour equals Vamprosa.
Right, so like certain Pokemon, especially as you got later in the game series, would require had more and more stringent requirements for certain evolutions.
That's right. Interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna voice Vamprosa. I really love vampires, so wow, honey, you are quite the hard worker.
Okay, what is that? I thought it said thanks, motherfucker. For a moment. Like just from a distance.
That would be so much better. I would love that.
Thanks, sweetheart. I could cut 100 logs before breakfast, but I ate lunch a couple of hours ago. I think it was supposed to be a joke.
Okay. Well, you know, there's something to say about putting the punchline at the end of your page. Like if you're doing comics, always put the joke at the last corner, because that will be for like comedic timing pretty much.
Yeah.
For pacing, that's actually the right choice.
Yeah, time is such a weird thing when it comes to comics.
Yeah.
Because the composition of the image messes with the speed at which the reader digests it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Sonichu by Christian W. Chandler, drawn January 3rd, 2004.
Well, Sonichu, I've been living my life and being beautiful.
Hey, Rose, what's new? It's backwards again.
Weird. Again.
Okay, again, it's with these two. Like when Chris was emulating the shoujo manga.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, no. But again, I think it's more to do with the fact that they set themselves up with the wrong, like if it would have been easier if they put Sonichu on the left and her on the right, but instead I'm guessing they did the drawings first, and then they were like, like I want Sonichu to actually be talking first, and Sonichu has a question for Rosie, and it's like,
yeah,
you can't undo that, right? But
yeah. Oh, so apparently the logs thing was a joke stolen from Excel Saga.
Oh, well,
I haven't seen it.
Wow,
so.
Somebody should really just log how much stuff, how many media things are being referenced and stolen.
Oh, they have.
This.
If you go to sonichu.com, I'm sure they have a list of like jokes and things that Chris aped from other stuff.
Like a bibliography.
A little bit. It's a little bit unsettling how precise the Christorians have gotten.
Wow, yeah.
Anyway.
But seriously, I wish I didn't have to work so hard. I'm tired of it. But being with you, a great friend, makes me feel much better. Anyway,
Me too, Rose Chew. Like, interrupts. Again, it's like right to left.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another character that we haven't seen yet.
It's... no, is it that one character?
It's Blatchu.
Blatchu. It's all...
Like Black Sonichu.
It's got this like cloud.
Cherry Cola. I think that it's supposed to be like a frustrated or under the weather.
Yeah. Oh, and then
emotion.
Again, cherry cola. Like that's weird. Like Coca-Cola is like the epitome of like advertising culture, right? And it's so weird that this character is like literally crafted by like cherry cola. You
Get
know?
out your Crystal Pepsi and start listening to Vaporwave. Let's do it. Bringing it back.
Okay.
Okay. So
and that's how it has been. Oh, you're so... Are we...
No, because there's a break there because now Sonichu is supposed to talk. I think that... No, this is a pattern that crops up more and more, I think, as the comic goes on. So I understand your feelings, Rosie. Here's Happy Valentine's Day. Yo, here, Happy Valentine's Day.
Aw, you're so sweet.
And again, we have Janus making an appearance.
This is horrifying. Oh my god. Wow. I kind of like visually, I think it's kind of cool that like what's happening, but it's so weird. It makes no sense for the comic. But there's shock happening.
Yeah.
Like there's this exclamation mark right here. And so she's like, oh, I get it. So her head's kind of like turning dramatically, and she's like,
yeah.
and like she's looking, and he's like, oh, like what? Like what is it?
Wait a minute, but isn't the blue stripe supposed to be down the front of her dress? But look where she's facing.
Huh.
It's like none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
well,
like
now
because she's facing the wrong way.
Oh, so I see. So we were looking at their backs.
At their backs, but now like her back is to her front is facing the wrong way, but
yeah, and
the
you
arms aren't crossed over.
No, and you see
Are we really trying to make sense of this?
No, well, you know what they're doing? The problem is they're breaking the 180 rule, the 180 degree rule, which is like something that's specifically very important to film. Comics can kind of break it and get away with it, but it's essentially this idea that there's this like invisible like circle around two people, and that there's this like 180 degree, there's this line that cuts down the center, and you have to, the camera, so to speak, or wherever you're positioning your like your gaze has to remain on like that one half of the camera so as not to confuse people, so you don't like cross. So you're not getting this like issue of like looking at them from the front, then seeing them from the back, and then them switching places in like, because what it does is it confuses people. Like you can't figure out where someone is in the space. And I mean, you've probably like seen it in like new like kind of amateur films where you're like, whoa, like that person seems like they just like went across the, like they just moved, and it makes no sense.
Usually accompanied with a sharp increase in noise.
Yes.
Like that hum.
Yeah.
It's classic. Okay.
Black Sonichu, quit following us around.
And that's the joke.
That's it.
Ha ha.
What?
Ha 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 ha. Why aren't you laughing?
Well, but again, you know, like if you're gonna have a joke, put it at the end. But hopefully your joke's funnier. Sonichu by Christian Weston Chandler, drawn March 18th, 2004. Oh, so this is even older, because this is...
Yeah. No, this is
new.
Younger,
okay,
yeah.
March.
Christian plus Sonichu, versus the mastermind.
Ooh.
Since you will not leave me alone on my love quest, we have no choice but to fight you. Hee hee hee.
Hee hee.
So, this has background. I'll explain once we finish it.
Yeah.
It's really short. What's the sideways text? I'm glad they figured out how to turn text sideways.
Slaweel the Witch.
Slaweel. Yep. One shot is all we get. Shinya Hame.
Oh no.
Yep. Thunder.
Hee.
Yeah. Okay, so the background for this. The reason it makes no sense is because this directly relates to something that happened in Chris's life. Slaweel is supposed to be, their full name is Slaweel Ryam, I think it is. Yeah, because forward, it's Mary Lee Walsh.
Oh, okay.
Or something, hold on, I need to figure it out. But yeah, this character is based on a college counselor that banned Chris from the campus for a year and forced him to take counseling for anger after he kept putting up attraction signs all over the school asking for a boyfriend-free girl. Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so he villainized her.
And turned her into a witch, which I think is, it's so classic to turn women into witches when you're like, you want to demonize them. And that is such a weird thing culturally and phenomenology. Like, I've read a lot of books about it, like Caliban and the Witch by Silvia Federici. Like, you should read it if you're into witches and like the history and how it relates to like our culture at large. Just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sonichu by Christian W. Chandler, drawn May 8th. So about 2 months later.
This is so tiny. Okay.
So this is not clear, but this blue hedgehog is not Sonic. That is another iteration of Chris.
You can tell by the little
the
logo. The like
medallion.
Yeah. It's now a part of them.
Yes. So I can't. God, it keeps getting smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Sonichu, Nate Sirk has my mom. We have to save her. I'm with you, Chris Chan. He won't get away with this. I just hope that she's all right. Ha ha ha. When those hedgehogs learn of your capture, they will run into my trap.
What's this? This is foreboding. It looks like eyes.
I think it's them like hiding. Did they like sneak in through the ventilation ducts or something? Yes, they did. Haha. And those are supposed to be like rolling circles.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Sirk, release my mom or we will give you the shock of your life. Yeah. Take one step closer and I'll press this button which will make your mother's cell explode. You don't want that, do you? A step, huh? How about a spark? Got it. Oh no.
Oh, who's that? Oh, Mom.
That's Mom. A very unflattering drawing of her. Are you all right, Mom?
Yeah. I am now, thanks to you and your son.
Happy Mother's Day. It was a Mother's Day present.
It's so interesting too that they
referred
to like mother and the father and child. You know, like that this is dad, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, there's this fixation on like father and motherhood in this comic.
Yeah, parents.
All right, so there's another trap. I feel like this is like it just kind of keeps going.
Yeah.
Okay, so Slaw Wheel, this was a trap.
That's right, Christian. There's no escape from my magic and my jerk-op squad. Want a girlfriend? Tough lightning.
Bring it on. And then he just gets shot. Fucking clubbed.
Ow! He looks drunk right here. Like he came in like hungover.
And his head's swollen.
Oh,
like swelled immediately from the concussion. Dirty rats.
They're so angry.
They are very unhappy.
Oh no.
Chris. Oh, this is another female character. It's all you.
I've got to save him from those fiends. Oh shoot.
And then the jerk cops power down?
After changing backs. Chris, are you okay?
Oh, Nicole, you saved me. Thank you.
Well, tyranny and oppression is against your quest, huh? Let's rest for a while, then I will help you. Want a girlfriend? You got it, best friend. And
so
is Nicole
So we're not done. There's a whole other chapter in this.
God, like, this is crazy. Why do we have all these, like, sub-episodes? Like,
it just kind of keeps going, doesn't it? I haven't missed any super chats, have I? I kind of got engrossed. All right, well, shall we begin sub-episode 1? Christian Chandler in Jerk-Op-Tastrophe. Yeah, no, wait, Jerk-Op-Tastrophe.
Yeah. Sigh. Well, it's been over 1 year and 7 months.
Yeah, I guess
or is that narration? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, right. Right, there's like a specific kind of sigh that Chris does. It's... Well, it's been over 1 year and 7 months, and I still have not attracted a boyfriend-free girl.
What's this? Oh, it's a little box with a Pokeball on it.
It says Nintendo DS.
Oh!
That's what it says on it.
Mm-hmm. And they're listening to music.
Yeah. This, on the DS? I don't... Oh, yeah, the cord... There's a small cord coming out of the DS.
I guess... Did they used to do that? Oh, my gosh.
I think...
Did anyone have one of these?
See, like, my first feeling is that, you know, they got an empty SD card and then plugged that in and used that to listen to music, but I don't know if Chris would have had the technical know-how to do that.
Okay, well...
Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm not going to miss this super chat. Darn it. Tape years are underappreciated, says, my best friend's name is Elise and she's studying to be a comic artist at SCAD. Hearing this from another Elise is oddly familiar. Loving the stream. I'm glad that people are enjoying this. I'm having a blast. This is really fun.
Yeah, me too. I like it too. So continue.
Yes. This love quest makes me suffer some frustration. And the other things that add to that are my loneliness, so many failures, and all those men other than myself, because they have taken all the pretty girls, leaving me with none to choose from.
Can't even.
I like how these are bookended by sighs.
Yeah, well, I feel like sighing too.
Oh, and this is copyright, by the way. And signed again.
Thank you for letting us know. This is weird that we now are getting just like full on like text exposition. Like this totally takes away out of like this is its own text bubble, right? But it's treated like a panel.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it working. It kind of works. I think it actually like it kind of unintentionally works by making Chris feel like alone and lonely. Like again, the shot composition, like I feel like the sequence of images isn't actually that bad.
No,
like,
it's actually
good.
Yeah, no, and this is actually a really great panel transition of like we're seeing the character in a scene in a space. Like I can kind of feel like this is a mall or something or some sort of like, you know, public space, definitely. And then we've get like this close up of the DS, which
not
is
close enough to read the DS
but like
lettering apparently.
But we were able to discern it, you know. That's enough. And then again, this space. So you're right. There is this like nice.
I think
like,
it works.
Yeah.
Like I actually thought it was good. All right, yeah, let's continue.
Yeah.
And those evil jerk-ops. Oh, yeah. Oh, crap. We have a super chat. I need to keep up with these. Dominic Molina says, Chrisologically, the comics have never been coherent, but it's obvious when he inserts real life. Lol. Lol. I can't lol. But yeah, it is kind of obvious, isn't it? Like the writing takes on it, like the rhetoric takes on a whole different tone.
It becomes more memoir based. Like, and you know what we're describing here? This is almost like I had a teacher, and I mean we've talked about this before too. Having like instructors say like write about what you know, like make stories about what you know and what you've experienced, because that's always going to like come through to the audience better. And like I think what you're like picking up on here is like they're writing from their experience, you know, like, and this feels like a place that they've been to. Like this is something like this little detail here, these details in the background. It's like they add to this like setting that makes you kind of believe it, like, and feel like this is a world, right?
They definitely try.
Yeah, and memoir can be so much nicer because you can kind of like put yourself better in it and believe it, whereas like you know, like the fantasy end of it, like that's also important, but sometimes when people like try to start off like going into these grand epic narratives, what they'll run into is it feels totally shallow, right? Like it's like you're just writing kind of like fluff that means nothing to anybody else, and because you're not imbuing it with any meaning, whereas this does have some like comes from somewhere in like important in you.
All right, let's actually turn the page now. All right. And those evil jerk-ops won't leave me alone either. I'm just a lonely, frustrated virgin looking for true love.
Hey, it's truth.
Do you want to be the jerk-op?
Yeah. Hey, I'm calling you out.
Huh?
I'm so sick of your complaints and tears, on and on about how lonely you are and how you need a girlfriend. You're nothing but a lowly liar and you solicitor.
Shock. Well, there's an arrow to take you through the comic
you know
panels.
that's never a good sign.
I feel like you don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, you know. Never let an arrow guide someone.
Shock. I don't know if he's saying that or so just leave me alone, you villainous jerk-op. How dare you, you jerk. I am only looking for true love and trust.
No dice. My fellow jerk-ops will fight you and force you to leave.
I don't want to fight, but if necessary, I will defend myself.
Cuff him.
And then action. Wait, it was then like someone comes up and smells his armpit.
And he's like, hey. Oh, did he kick him in the balls?
Kicked him in the balls!
Ah! Shit.
Nobody sniffs my armpit. This was before dabbing was invented, so they had to come up with clever ways. Oh, and someone says someone super chatted saying just wanted Ludovico. Ha, I get it. Just wanted to contribute and say Down the Rabbit Hole is one of the best things on YouTube. So macabre, but so fascinating. So much respect for you. Aw, thanks. The next episode is really macabre.
It is.
Yeah.
I can't wait to.
Elise knows what it is.
We know each other.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not get bogged down talking about. Okay, so ball kick. I better transform quickly.
While punching.
While punching. Electric hedgehog power. Da, 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 da,
This is like a Sailor Moon transformation.
Correct. This is what I was holding back telling you way back when. These transformational sequences are really common in the comic, and they'll take up whole pages.
It's Sailor Moon.
It's literally Sailor Moon.
It's wonderful.
I like the way he drew his own ass in like the center panel on the bottom.
The tail sprouting out.
There's something wonderfully round about it. Swiggity swooty.
I also want to bring attention to this before we move on. Like this character, it's.
Wait a minute. His badge keeps changing shape.
Yeah. We have the diamond, circle, square. We hit all the shapes.
All right, continue.
But I love the kind of shape of him and like the big opposing nature in the panel. Like you really feel like, oh, this is a big like mean dude who's gonna give him a hard time. But
he also keeps changing shape.
Yeah.
Like in the last one, he becomes Bubble Boy.
Yeah.
And the badge almost looks like a reflection.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's just a very polished brown bubble.
Yeah. And then it's like, God. Okay, let's Sailor Moon.
Oh, there's more transformation, right?
Okay. And so there's a lot of transformation happening.
There is, yeah.
And now they're the Christian Sonichu.
Fights in the Sonichu universe are turn-based.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Now watch me metal armor equip. Oh, they get like an awesome metal suit.
Yeah,
it's kind of rad.
Yeah.
What's this ticking talk?
I don't know. I think it's. I'm willing to bet that it's also aped from Excel Saga. Can anyone confirm that? Like, is that? Because the first thing I go to is like Madoka, but like I've seen like 5 anime, but. I wonder. It's got to be from something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think like I just think clocks because of the one character, but this was way before Madoka. So Rocket Punch,
Clunk, Mega Kick.
Yep, that's another Pokemon move. Back Missile is not a Pokemon move. I can guarantee that. Actually, you know what? I can't be sure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Double Team,
Laser beam.
Mirror Coat, Thunderbolt. We almost had a really nice rhyme going.
Yeah.
I would have been very pleased.
My armor. What? So this is interesting. Like,
there's nothing. Let's see. Probably it's a Sailor Moon thing. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. It's meant to be a gag about it taking a long time for him to get in his armor. Oh, okay. That didn't come across.
Oh, so it's like trying to imply like, look how slow this guy is.
Yeah.
Can't even get his armor.
Forever because he's bad and dumb.
Well, why didn't he could have taken advantage of that time, you know? Instead, he politely waited.
I know, right? So, Hakojo asks, is there a Sonichu Finger Family video yet? Maybe that's the crossover we need. That's the mashup. I was thinking like... Or maybe like Time Cube and Finger Family, mash up those 2 characters and make it into a surreal YouTube series. They love your channel. Thanks for all the amazing content. Aww. Thank you so much. Okay, let's continue. I hate having to skip over super chats. Seriously, come find me on my Twitch stream and like chat sometime. Anyone, like seriously, it's a lot easier to chat there.
Or your Twitter, ask questions.
Or my Twitter,
on there,
yeah, seriously. People like if you say something on Twitter, I'll respond almost certainly. Okay, get up now. Leave me alone, and we can end this battle.
No way! I'm not done with you yet.
Bang, barrier. Fuzzy wuzzies get you hugs. Prickly wicklies get you slugs. You gave me a slug. So you get my secret ultimate attack, and then more Dragon Ball Z. All right, so that's supposed to be sideways. Oh, there's a rotation button up top.
What? No, I'm not going to rotate.
You're not going to rotate?
This is not meant to be rotated. You do not put a sideways. You do not put this in a comic. You don't like rotate the page.
I'm pretty sure like comics. I don't know. Did comics from this time do this ever?
No, it's very like unless it was a mistake. Most printing won't like do kinds of things like they'll. You know what you could do instead is you do double page spread. And make the whole thing like this, but like this feels like an error in the printing.
It's remarkable how much space in the comics is given over to white tiles.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that?
Yeah, to establish that there's a floor and a ground.
He sprays the jerk-op with Mountain Dew.
Yeah, you know what this and what putting it sideways does is it makes it feel like you're falling or like that this is like rotating. You know, like it doesn't, unless you're like intentionally trying to create like a feeling by doing this, like it just like you shouldn't expect the reader to turn the page, like to turn the whole book to like look at the art on this. Mm-hmm. You should just draw it to stay consistent across, you know, like there was an awesome, like in the Court of Owls run of Batman, like this moment where it's like you have to flip it upside down, but he's going through some psychological crazy process.
You're
you know?
kind of getting ergodic with it.
Yeah, but this is like, it just is like,
they wanted the space, but they didn't want to take up 2 pages.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these were drawn on individual pages, too. I don't think there was any consideration for 2 pages in a row like this.
Do you think, is this based on a person or like an experience that they had?
Yes. So he would keep going to the mall and like soliciting people for a relationship. And eventually one of the mall cops threw him out. And this is his interpretation of the encounter.
I see. And villainizing that person entirely.
Yes. He tends to villainize people in his comics.
Yeah, like the whole world's out to get them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't feel that thing.
Okay, oh, you will.
Getting up. Whoa! Where'd the banana come from? It's such a classic like trope. Oh my god.
Oh, it's so this is caked in tropes.
What is happening here? He like trips?
Glasses.
Oh, his glasses.
Man, my glasses.
Oh, it's like Daphne.
Chief, your wife just called. She is divorced and left you. She took all your things and she took your children too. Also, she loathes you for your filthy smoking habit.
No!
So,
oh my god.
This gets explained. Oh wait, no it doesn't. Never mind. So, this is like a curse attack. He curses people with bad luck.
Oh, so like this is gonna come true.
So, Chris would do this in real life in videos, like cursing people. It eventually became like Cursehameha.
Wow. So he's
like, he believed that he had this power.
Yeah,
over people and their fortune.
Well, they're like a witch then. That's like they villainize this counselor as the witch, but like they have witch powers.
All right, that night at CWC's home.
Do you want me to read this? I'm closer.
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead and read. I don't want to lean in that close.
Adana? Is that a person?
Donna?
I don't know. Adana or something. I can't read it. Fandana?
What? And Dana?
I just wanted to say that I appreciated you being the first to approach and say anything to me. I get very nervous, so I was hoping for that to happen. Also, I appreciated you taking the time to chat with Meat, the shop.
With Meat?
And I was very elated.
Shake hands with beef, anyone?
I was very excited. Elated, excited, and butterfly heartful from the positive events. But it was not very nice for you to have led me online, just to pull a prank online. I was terribly hurt. Before you stepped into my world, my heart was previously shattered due to previous events, and it was 20% repaired. After you came in, my heart had a miraculous speedy recovery to 100%. Then after I had learned...
We skipped a page, apparently. Okay. All right, so, well, there's a page, I think, that explains the Cursehameha.
Is there?
Or the maybe?
Hold
on.
Oh, was it the earlier stuff with that we kind of glossed over with all those characters and all that?
No, I think that there might be a page missing. Here, keep going. Let's look at the pages in the bottom right-hand corner.
And bottom... Oh.
Just go back forward. Return forward. Back to the future. S8. No. We didn't. What? Tits. Okay. What? Oh, I'm trying to go forward.
Are you ready?
S9. S8. What?
7 and 9. What?
8. I think we're missing pages.
Huh.
Did this biff? Okay.
Well, there's...
Yeah, this is completely out of order, apparently.
Oh, sorry, guys.
I'm sorry. Got this.
But, you know, like, is it really, like, are we losing too much?
I don't know. I feel like we're okay. We're at like the 2 hour, 10 minute mark. This is a good place to stop, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, and also an ad for the Sonichu GameCube game.
Oh, a GameCube, when that was still the thing.
Man, I love the GameCube.
Rated E for everyone.
Yeah, so that everyone can learn the story of Sonichu.
A Christian Chandler production.
What would the gameplay in a Sonichu game look like? Well, I guess it would just be a 3D Sonic game, but...
No, but then there'd have to be moments where you're, like, you can go... It's open world. You can go around Quickville and hang out with the mayor. I'm
missing a few pages. Monologue from Chris and another story of Chris getting rejected by a girl. I'm missing one of the best sub-episodes. This will not stand. Okay, hold on a moment. I have a screen for this. Let me quickly go in and find the pages. So I have so many tabs because I am researching, and that's just kind of what it looks like. So Sonichu 0. They're official audiobooks.
No.
Okay, let me see. Episode 1.
My soul
we
hurts.
are okay, here we go. Sub episode 1. Here we go. I think I'm gonna download the pages that we didn't get. Oh wow. Okay, wait. Okay, back missile, my armor, Shinyahameha, slip. No,
that's
here we go. Here we go.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, so I'm gonna save these and then I'm gonna open them all up. Oh,
no, that's what I got.
That's the end of the page.
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's actually another. No, this is all of issue 0. Okay, let's go ahead and open this in here. Okay, you may have to zoom.
Yeah.
Now let me swap back over. Should be good. Okay. So you want to, let's zoom in.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Let's zoom in more so you can see all of the beauty.
That great detail.
Here we go.
Great resolution.
All right.
Fantastic.
I have cursed you with bad luck and extreme misfortune. S-Chew Ball. This is a special Pokeball used for capturing electric or hedgehog type Pokemon. Why is that there?
Huh. Is he going to capture the security guard?
They're not an electric or hedgehog type Pokemon, so I don't think so.
They might transform, you know.
Maybe.
Like, there's a lot of transformations in this story.
Okay, so CWC, so this is him talking. This would not have happened if you had not challenged and threatened me, as well as not leaving me alone with my ever so frustrating love quest, calling me a lying solicitor, picked on my methods of attracting a boyfriend-free 18 plus my current age-year-old girl, or no, minus
I think it's
18
just...
to my current age-year-old girl. God, the text is tiny. Okay. Whom I can love and trust, and most importantly, handcuffing me on 9/11/2004 for no good reason. I hope that you have learned to never mess with a truly frustrated virgin when he is on a quest for a girlfriend to share true love and trust with.
So did mine?
Oh, no, so down there.
Oh.
Bottom left.
Oh, my soul hurts.
So did mine, and my heart was previously shattered too. End.
And so now...
Beautiful, and that's the end.
Okay.
It was just missing the one page.
All right. This also, you know, text bubbles out of like weird order. This isn't where you go. You go this way, just so you know.
Yes.
Yes.
My soul hurts.
I like how tiny he is. He's just like, ugh. Okay, well, how do we get back to the other
Oh,
pages?
I missed a super chat
Mm.
from Trucy Wright. A 3D Sonichu game would be Sonic Forces. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Handcuffed on 9/11.
Yeah, 2004, huh?
2004.
There's a lot of really good, like, almost like journaling happening in this series. Like, we can really,
Yeah.
like, track and, like, keep a good chronology of their life.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing, right? That's why the only reason that Chris's life is so well chronicled is because of the amount of information given away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fascinating. Can see why you made a video about this person.
Yeah, there's just so much info.
So how do we get to...
Oh,
Okay.
back.
Yeah.
Here. Let me. There we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah,
Yay.
I don't know where this is from. This is from another thing. So this is the last page.
Okay. And then will we have to open up a... Yeah,
And
we have to
then-
open up
yeah,
a new one.
that's the end of episode 0. How you feeling?
Well,
Or issue 0.
issue 0. Yeah.
Technically, it doesn't exist.
Well, I can keep going.
You can keep going.
I've got the stamina.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay. Well,
But
hopefully we're not missing any more pages.
Yeah.
I missed sub-episode 3. I thought that the sub-episodes came, like, later. Like, they were sort of peppered throughout all of the different issues.
Man, this is very confusing.
There is... Oh God.
Too much.
Let me make
crammed
sure
in
I didn't
one.
miss anything. So yeah, there was just sub-episode 1 in issue 0. So the next one is 45 pages long.
Man,
And then has sub-episode 2.
this is immediately like what turns people off from like superhero comics. Just saying, like, people, when you like come into a new fandom and you're like, oh man, like, where do I even start? And someone's like, well, you could start here or you could start here, but you know what, you need like this epilogue thing before, or like prologue, and people are like, I don't even want to try. You know, it's like, I know DC recently has tried really hard to remedy that, but so often there's all these universes that are just like rebooting constantly because they're trying to make it approachable for new readerships. This is not very approachable.
Thank you for that analysis. All right, you want to start us up?
Yeah. So this is premiere number 1, drawn March 31st, 2005. And look, we got, was it Blackachu? Is that this guy?
Blatchu, I think, or like
Blatchu.
Black Sonichu.
Black-
and
okay.
I think that they start as Black Sonichu and then they become Blatchu. I think. God, it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, see, okay, so the logo got a little more refined. That's nice, but
Yeah.
it's still too tiny and too thin. So, like, from typography standpoint, like,
Yeah.
you can't read this. This is just gonna be like, it's.
Well, I think they added an outline to
Yes.
the lettering, and that's what helps.
Well, it's still that weird, like, oh, I think it's just because it's like a black, but it's like not a very good marker, so it's blending and like doing this weird green halo effect. You see that?
Yeah, it looks like a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the quality of the materials being used.
Hey, you know, that's no excuse. Look at Henry Darger.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. He made magic from what he had, and
With no training.
no
Chris
training.
even had some training. We can't even... That's the funny thing. We were talking about this a while ago. Whether Chris's art constituted folk art or not.
Yeah, is
or,
it considered
or naive art?
outsider art? Yeah.
But it isn't, because they have like a computer-aided drafting and design class.
Yeah.
They've been to school for art.
Yeah.
I guess like if you think of if Henry Darger ever had any sort of art class in school, I guess maybe you could discount them, but I don't know.
It's like, it's hard to say because, you know, like, these are not hard, fast rules, so to speak. It's kind of like there's also things about an aesthetic. So I think you could debate and arguably say.
Mango of Doom is clarifying this. Chris took a digital design course in high school. Voice crack. Sorry, I threw my voice out last Tuesday, and it's still a little bit wonky.
You know, and it's hard to say because, you know, some of these earlier, like, taking like a high school art class is like, yes, it's giving you more training and such, but it's not necessarily like I don't know if Christian is fully aware of like the art world. It's hard to say, you know, and that's kind of like what, you know, art historians, at least, who are the ones who kind of make these like distinctions,
Rules, yeah.
are looking for. It's like they're combining, they're looking at the experience, their like awareness of and like their artist's ability to articulate their place within the bigger art world. And I wouldn't say that Christian can really like articulate that, you know? And so it's like, I think you could make the argument, but at the same time, like people have said and clarified that they had 5 years of like experience that they claim. So
well, Chris took 5 years to do a 2-year degree.
Well, I would say you know, maybe leave it up to the chat. Like I wonder, like, do you guys think that
Does this have value as folk art?
Is it outsider art, or is it like something else? Is it just amateur work?
You decide. All right, let's get into Sonichu. Finally, we're on the first issue,
and we get all these text bubbles. This is actually, there is a kind of like harkening back to old comics that would like kind of lead in with the action.
Yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, Sonic, yes. Oh, it's backwards again. The text.
Is that supposed to be your clone?
Unfortunately, Sonic, yes.
Chemical chili dog?
No, cherry cola.
I think Chemical X is a Powerpuff Girls reference,
It
right?
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I can't, I want to really look at the list of everything referenced.
All right, we got the copyright page again. Thank goodness.
Consistent. Episode 4, Black Sonichu in Darkness, Speed, and Lightning.
With an accidental dose of cherry cola.
So weird. I kind of like though the way that these like these letters and the words like match like what it's about. So you're like speed, and I mean this is kind of a good instinct to follow for designing text. But then, you know, the Comic Sans gotta bring it back into perspective here.
It's convenient. And it looks so fun. It looks fun, Elise. Looks fun.
I'm not having fun.
There we go. All right. Nate Sirik, even though you have lost your battle... Oh, wait, this is Eggman. Nate Sirik, even though you have lost your battle with that hedgehog, Sonichu, I am proud that you were able to obtain a sample of his DNA. I then located the base of Dr. Ivo... Oh, wait a minute. Who's this?
Oh,
this is Giovanni. Oh, it's Giovanni speaking.
That's Giovanni, and that's
Eggman. Eggman's... Oh, what is that? It's like he was body snatched. Look at that mouth. Oh, that's horrifying. All right. Nate Sirik, even though you have lost your battle with that hedgehog, Sonichu, I am proud that you were able to obtain a sample of his DNA. How? I then located the base of Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik. Needless to say, after I showed him the photo of that Pokemon, he was astounded. After we shook an agreement of Dr. Robotnik reconstructing the DNA machine that was found on New Island. What? Is that... That's a sentence fragment. Soon we'll have a Sonichu of our own to send out and defeat the original comma splice. Nate Sirik. I keep saying Nate Sirik. Our victory is assured, or I am not Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket. DNA strands and a can of cherry cola.
Oh,
like they can't even.
No, you know, this reminds me of like I had a teacher who brought this up back in like the 90s. Superhero comics tended to do something similar to this, where they would describe exactly what was happening in the panel, and it's like we didn't really need to know, like we can see it, like I see the image, and I mean, mind you, like I don't think I'd say like DNA strands, right? But like at the same time, I'm, you know, bringing attention to the fact like I can see that this is cherry cola, I can see that this is an object of some sort, and like already seeing it's like bring the DNA sample to the machine, so I really don't need this at all. And so sometimes that's like a common mistake when you're like beginning like in comic art, is like feeling like you need to explain everything away, but like you can really give audiences like more credit and say like they'll figure it out. Like
always assume your audience is smart.
Yeah, and like if you're giving the clues, like, and literally like it said the next panel, like you don't need to be giving all this extra stuff. Just let the image like do the work for you.
Yeah. So we have a $5 super chat from Set, who says, normally I would never send anyone looking for one, but that kid needed a hooker. Funny enough, he got one.
What?
Yeah. So Chris is no longer a virgin with rage. Technically.
She's just a regular person with rage.
Anyway, so yeah, that happened. We'll not linger on it. So DNA, cherry cola. Uh-oh.
It's spilled.
Oh, well. Oh, well. I like how the machine looks like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I kind of, well, okay, wait, is this supposed to be 2 panels? I was about to say, like, I like the composition of this, like how this kind of takes up a bunch of space, but
it's 2 panels.
I think this is actually like a split.
Oh, yeah, there's the black line.
Yeah, but...
Or like black, quote
See,
unquote.
and that's like confusing because you can't really tell, like, you really don't want your art to like see, like, that's why we create these, the gutter has so much space here, because it really lets people know that like these art pieces this is separate, and this is where you have to make the jump between the image. When you have it like just close together like this, it's just it's going to just become harder and harder to distinguish art from itself.
Yeah, it doesn't help that like you just have the one little line and then the blue on blue.
Yeah, which is to say though, like you could totally use this to your effect in a story if you wanted to create kind of like things are blending together and you're trying to create a kind of like maybe trippy feel or something like that. But this is just like, it's just confusing, right?
Okay. I missed another super chat because I'm the worst. Oh, Ark actually did one for $2 saying, amazing stamina, guys. Keep up the great work. I mean, would you call this great work? It's something.
It's something. Like
it's taxing.
When I was in college, we had critiques that would last for like 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I knew actually there's some art colleges, really pretentious sounding schools, but that had critiques in the master's programs that would last like 24 hours.
What?
Yeah. And it was a whole like thing my teacher told me about where,
what?
They like pretty much shut themselves off in a room. They had like little like stations where people could like sleep, and take like a nap.
Porta potty?
Yeah, of course, right? But they just pretty much dedicated. They were like, we are really gonna like just spend a whole like period talking about art and the work that you've made and really pulling it apart and seeing how much they could like dissect everything and it's a real kind of amazing concept to think about.
I mean, it sounds intense. They take breaks, right?
Yeah, of course. You could take breaks throughout it, but like that kind of intensity, like there is a kind of place to really. It's so like great to learn from critiques, and the longer you can get like feedback from people, it's like value those people who will like give you really thorough feedback on your work.
Mm-hmm. All right, so analyzing data, adding inputted DNA, adding inputted data, Pokemon identified, begin cloning sequence. I think this is ripped off from Pokemon the first movie. You remember that? Because Mewtwo had like his cloning tanks.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
man, I'm so impressed with myself being able to remember all this. Oh, and so he's in Tank Mother. Maybe it's the liquid.
Yeah.
But this Sonichu looks black to me.
I want to point out too, this is one of the most common mistakes for paneling that early comic artists make. Like I think everyone who's ever made comics has made this mistake. I've made it many times when I was like starting out, but like this, you should just avoid this entirely, like doing 2 stacked panels next to like 1 solid panel. Like people end up doing it because of like they want to try and fit like as much space and story into things, but like it honestly it doesn't work, right? Like it breaks the rules and people just don't know whether they should go down or to the right. And of course, we've got the arrows to clarify, but Just don't do it.
Yeah, like there are better ways to do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, let me do my best shadow voice. Sonichu, Nate Sirk, powerful. Counterpart? What information are these fools trying to brainwash into me? I'll do whatever, please. I'll do whatever I please, but I'll play along.
Oh.
You are Sonichu. You obey only Giovanni and his son, Nate Sirk. You are dark, evil, and very powerful. When awakened, you will seek and fight your original counterpart. Okay.
Okay. Should I be Giovanni?
Well. I'm remembering, like, Giovanni has, like, a super pompous voice.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Robotnik, here's the result of your skills and our genius. What's your opinion? He reminds me of another creature I released years ago, but I'm sure this Sonichu is much stronger. Let's release him. Yes, drain the fluid and raise the tube. Boss, do you want to do this guy?
I do this guy, yeah. Boss, I'm reading the brainwaves of the Pokemon. They're racing.
I'm not sure, but he looks black to me. What is this? What is wrong with this kid? He already said this. Oh well, he'll still shock that hedgehog Pokemon as if being black makes him worse.
Well, we already established that there's
is that a problem? Yeah, there is some.
There are some race problems within this
Yeah.
race, gender. We could really. That's a whole nother stream you could do about this. But
Beep beep.
yes, sir.
I left Tank Mother.
Okay.
He is black. That's the third time he's remarked on how black Sonichu is. Well, I'll just call him Black Sonichu. Huh? Oh, right. God, it's so hard to figure out what order people talk in. That's fine with me. Huh? Let's just shorten that to Blatchu. Deal? Deal. My name is Nate Sirk. I am your master. You're black. No, this is my father, Giovanni. Do not cross him. And that's Dr. Robotnik. My pleasure to make your acquaintance, Black Sonichu. Oh god, it looks like he's yelling. Mine as well!
And 5.
And 5. He's eating the page number. Oh dear. Oh god, this gets worse.
It's just getting worse.
I
I
don't want to keep reading this.
It's a little hard. I understand. There's some off-putting stuff happening now. Black Sonichu's rocket. Oh, and there's so much text. Oh, like the art is everyone's just becoming floating heads.
We have people from Virginia in chat denouncing Chris. It's like, Chris does not represent all Virginians. Rocket. Yeah, this is just a ripoff because I remember Shadow had like rockets in his boots.
Oh, okay.
Like robot boots.
Yeah. Okay.
3 hours later. So I don't know. We can skim this.
Yeah, like that's really
as much as I love doing shadow voice.
Yeah. So they've got the the profiles of Sonichu and Rosachu, and
probably taken from Sonichu 0.
They're doing some evil. They have an evil
here,
plan.
I just want to go. I want to skim over it to see if there's anything really good. Is a clone from Sonichu's DNA? Shouldn't that make him my father? Interesting post-humanist question. I don't think that sort of existential conundrum was intended.
But we live in the postmodern age, so these things just come up.
Yeah. Astounding questions, Blatchu. With all due respect, I would not refer to Sonichu as your father or as your brother. We do not even look up to him. And as my scientist Bill reported, he spilled some cherry cola on. How would you feel if, you were a clone and it was revealed to you right after you were born that someone had spilled cherry cola onto your DNA? It's like, wow, you don't give a shit, do you?
Well, that's why.
Worst parents.
See, that's why he's angsty. He's like, he's got daddy issues right off the bat.
So let's see. Any other brown and yellow pigment? Giovanni, I searched online and I found data on Sonichu. I like how the real world and the Sonichu world cross over so much.
Yes.
I think what Robotnik is referring to is Chris's actual site.
Uh-huh.
that he made for Sonichu.
Wow, it's just breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. Apparently, it was reported to Professor Oak by a Pokemon trainer named Kel. Oh, okay, so it's not the website. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because we're about now we compare these statistics with Black Sonichus and make them much stronger and faster. What is this on the other page? That's true. Yada yada. Okay, no, we're not now we have the plan to lure Sonichu into our trap. Training Black Sonichu will kidnap. After training, Black Sonichu will kidnap. After training, comma. There's a comma there. I thought it was dirt. Okay, machine to drain Sonichu's powers. All right.
No, you know, bad guy plan. We're gonna wreck some people, and it's.
Yep. Then we need montage music.
Oh yeah, it's a training. Oh,
it's a
montage.
Training.
Punch.
You're the best around. Who's gonna ever take you down? 200 kilometers an hour. Strength test. Punch. Result, destroyed 20 tons. I mean, that's not really impressive, though, right? Like, 20 tons of what? Like, I could destroy 20 tons of feathers. I could destroy 20 tons of chicken wings.
You know, this reminds me of, like, the beginning of Superman, like, the first issue where they're, like, laying out, like, what Superman can do. And it was before he became, like, super OP, you know? And he's just, like, he can leap, like, a skyscraper in a single bound. He's fast as a locomotive, faster than one, you know, like all these little, like, this is what this character can do. So it's, you know, it comes from somewhere.
Co's Pose did another super chat and said Chris is writing his own Ulysses. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah.
So we have meaningless stats. Like, it's so obvious how many of these kinds of games Chris has played.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we've played those games too, but I would never put this into, like, a comic unless I was trying to be kind of, like, ironic, you know?
Yeah. Again, it's derivative without acknowledging it.
Yeah, which makes it kind of cringy. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like calling Sonichu cringy is a little bit... It's
stating the obvious.
The bottom of the barrel a little
right?
bit. Well, they seem similar, but Black Sonichu has greater strength. Yes, it looks like he's ready for the mission.
I agree.
Okay. Wow, okay. That's gotta be traced.
Yeah.
I recognize that pose from somewhere. Hold on. What is that from?
It's kind of a cute pose. It's like, look at me.
Is.
Like, little foot out. You know?
Yeah,
like
it is kind of cute.
It doesn't look like this is supposed to be like the bad. He's gonna cause some problems, but he's kind of adorable.
Yeah, it's. I guess my training is completed. It's time to prepare to encounter my brother Sonichu.
To be continued.
There's a lot of space given to floor paneling.
Yeah, and this just whole like this is. Just like compositionally and coming from like especially the drawing and painting background, all this empty space is not doing anything, and like our eye when we look at images we totally do the same thing. We read it as we read text and go from like left to right and go like down to the far corner of the page, and so like we're just starting off with emptiness, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so chat's helping me out here. It's a pose from Sonic Adventure DX.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Voice crack again. Holy goodness.
So he's swiping it.
Yep.
And not to say, I would say, like, don't totally harp on, like, tracing. Like, you can totally even trace your own work. Like, there are things you can, ways you can use tracing as a tool. Like, Henry Darger totally did it. And like, but he turned it into his own thing and, like, you know, it's always, like, a kind of a fine line. But, like, I would say that Darger, like, used it and then, like, built upon his tracings. And like lots of comic artists, like, you don't want to just draw everything from hand because that could, like, you want to speed up the process. So tracing certain things can be like a way to, you know, improve and quicken your process.
Yeah, but you have to build on it.
Yeah, and like not just, I mean, this is obvious, this is just totally derivative, right? Like, yeah, it's not
they wanted the feeling of the original drawing but on their character.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Hub Pie unfortunately did a super chat to let us know that the post is from Sonic Adventure DX after, like, other people said it. Okay. Sonichu is is a Pokemon, so catch him on Game Boy Advance. I like the V.
The V. We've all been there.
Game Boy Advance. Get zappin' with him in the chaotic combo.
Okay.
Game Boy Advance and Pokemon are registered trademarks of Nintendo of America. All Sonichu material are copyrighted March 2000-2005 by Christian Weston Chandler.
Wow. Well, at least it gave credit to Nintendo. I'm assuming that there's some respect there for Nintendo at least.
So I think this has less to do with Chris trying to give the copyright where it's due, and more with Chris wanting a Sonichu game, because these comics are a pitch,
right?
And he eventually did mail them.
Wow.
Ended up in Nintendo Power once, as I recall.
Really?
Yeah, for a drawing. I think they assumed it was by an 8-year-old kid and thought it was cute.
Oh,
it's a little sad.
Episode 5, Sonichu in informal meeting. Informal meeting.
Yes.
Huh. This is strange. This is so. I actually am very intrigued by this. We get a map of the space.
You better memorize it.
It's probably gonna be really important. Sonichu and Rosachew's Zapbud fields. This is just their fields.
Their fields.
Station Square. Sonic the Hedgehog is just over there.
It's just over there? What?
Over yonder. Over the hill. And then there's Quickville.
Station Square, Sonic's house, Giovanni's gym base.
Who's Kel? Is Kel?
That's
her.
Rosechu's trainer.
Rosechu's trainer.
Rosachu. Right,
Rosachu.
there's it's a 3-syllable name.
And this is in Virginia, everybody.
And Pallet Town is here. There's Professor Oak's lab.
Yeah.
And there's a really big 12 just south of Giovanni's base. Sorry, that was a cheap shot. All right. You want to take Nate Seark?
Okay, sure.
By the way, Nate Seark is just Christian backwards, in case that wasn't abundantly obvious.
No, I did get it at some point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Chris thinks palindromes are terribly witty. Palindrome is the same forwards and backwards.
So auto is
what is it?
OTTO is
that's a palindrome. So is Taco Cat. Yeah. Think about it.
I didn't know that.
So what is it called when? Okay. Anyway, point is.
Maybe someone will know in the chat.
Yeah, someone help me. I'm blanking. This is melting my brain. All right, you take Nate Seark.
Okay.
I'll take Blatchu.
I've sent my Zapdos to locate Sonichu and Rosachu. They are now in the Zapdu fields.
Zapbuds.
Sorry.
Get your Sonichu.
Oh no,
right.
bad. They'll have to return to Kel's house. Here. Your mission is to intercept them, kidnap Rosachu, and bring her here.
I love Blatchu's expression. He's just not having any of this shit.
He's so not evil. That's immediately what I'm getting. He's just man, I just was made and I'm cherry cola. I don't know what that's about. Sonichu will come for her. And
anagram. Anagram is where you take the spelling and then rearrange letters to spell something else, I thought. But maybe it's both.
Okay, well, I'll keep reading. Sonichu will come for her, and when he does, we'll have a surprise for him. Ha ha! Meanwhile, this is kind of nice. Just them in the field. Looking up.
Yeah.
I would say give this panel more space.
Yeah.
It would be so nice to have, and that's generally what you would want for any establishing shot. You really want it to just, feel, grounded, and, a lot of times you'll see it take up, a whole tier. Essentially.
Yeah. So meanwhile, so you want?
Oh yeah. This is nice. The Zapbuds, the sky, the clouds, and you, Sonichu.
And I couldn't enjoy this without you either, Rosie. Flowers are horrendous. I have awful. Why would he not be able to enjoy the Zapbud fields? Oh, okay. Smack. Okay, so just you're so sweet, I try. A specific song for the ringtone.
Oh yeah, excuse me. For you I will. By Monica. Who's Monica?
I don't know.
Maybe somebody knows.
Can someone help me out? Is this a pop song that I just don't know? Oh, hey, Ark just sent me the image that Chris stole. It's just a straight rip.
Yeah. But somehow, like, his is, I will say, it's very cute.
It
you
is
know?
cute, yeah. I don't know, the pose is kind of cute anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ark.
Thanks.
Best mod. Okay.
All right, shall we?
Just Monica. Okay.
Yeah, Monica.
Wow. Sorry, I just looked down and Rosachu just shrank.
Yeah, she got tiny. Or he got big.
He got huge. Activated Black King bar. Okay,
Hello, Kel? Oh, okay, we'll be home soon. Bye. That was Kel. It's almost dinner time.
That's okay. I was feeling hungry anyway. How about some more Brunswick stew? May I escort you to your chateau, milady?
Of
If
course.
only I had a fedora.
Of course you may, my sweet bolt.
As you wish, my heart sweet.
Map scope.
Oh, it's like a map showing
Wow.
people doing things.
That's so weird. It's like a video game suddenly. Like, we have like a
Yeah.
little map in the corner, right? Interesting. What? Okay.
So is it just... I feel like Chris keeps making unique artistic decisions, but with the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, this sort of reference doesn't work because there aren't any... Like, here's my guess. Like, there aren't really any visual tells that he's referencing video games. I didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe a more skilled artist would be able to emulate the graphical style of a game's map screen better.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it just gives me that feeling because we're in that like aerial perspective, and like, you know, it feels like a kind of clumsy solution to showing characters traversing like time and space, going across like an area, where on top of like you wouldn't even have to do like, because honestly they already said here that like we're gonna go to the house, and like you could literally just start them up at the house or something, unless I guess this is what's happening, they're gonna run into, they're all gonna collide.
Yeah. Okay, so someone just pointed out For You I Will is from the Space Jam soundtrack.
Are you serious?
This comic is so dated in the best way.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so excited. You know, we like us 90s kids have a special place in our heart for
Elise was so excited to do this. You guys have no idea.
This is a good time. All right. So he's trying to show them all converging. Like
yeah.
they're all going to run into each other.
The Large Hadron Collider.
Is this just a bush?
With Blatchu eyes.
Oh, he's in there. Okay.
Yeah, this is like a classic cartoon thing where you just like show the eyes in the
Yeah.
bush.
Yeah.
Or is it like, I think anime does it too, but anime stole a bunch from cartoons, so,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
What
That's actually Sonic. I don't want to go home yet. I think I'll go check out what's that way. What's that? Okay, grammar. That's fine. At the interception, I think, as in like where Blatchu was going to intercept. Okay.
This would be a lot better just to see like to take the time to show like all these like introduce them properly, right? And like give them enough time to establish that they're all going to the same spot, and then like the readers can figure it out from there, right? Like oh, they're all heading to the same spot, it's gonna be crazy. Like this is actually this bottom tier right here, like that's actually pretty, I think it's a pretty good solution for that. Like you've got like both people coming in, and like it would be even more interesting if like you added like a third panel here to show like to kind of complete like this shape, like the three-way thing that's happening up here.
Yeah, like it's really clear that Chris is taking things that he's seen but doesn't really understand why they work. He just knows that they work. Yeah,
but then like of course that is still such a rudimentary understanding that he's not really using it, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
So
5, 4, 3, 2. Screw it. I know that's from something.
Yeah.
No, that's from Red versus Blue, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure, or I think it's just also a classic joke. But the first thing I go to is.
Was Red versus Blue was out around that time, wasn't it?
Was it? Was it like early 2000s?
like
God, is it that old? Oh
No,
God,
no, it had
old.
to be like
It has. It can't have been.
2000
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
Yeah. Because, you know, Corey and I, that's how we started talking online. Like, we started, before we were dating, we totally talked about...
It is contemporary. April 1st, 2003.
2003? Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah, because Corey and I, that was, like, the first thing we started talking about together. Red versus Blue.
Really?
Yeah. Because we
that's
both had watched
amazing.
it, and we really liked it. And we were like, oh, my God, Halo.
Okay, so a void comes out and snatches Rosicue.
Oh, wow. Crash. Okay, well, this is a little... I kind of like the drama of, like, just seeing these panels. Like, I don't really need these ones. But seeing the, like, the crash moment here, like, this is kind of nice. Like, having the different perspective on both having just, like, banged into each other. And this crash probably should have been a little bigger as well, you know? To, like, really emphasize that drama had just happened there.
I think something you're pointing out is that sometimes Chris has really good opportunities to make a page turn good or end a page well. Sometimes he accidentally ended a page well, or like there are things that are almost working, but because of his fundamental lack of understanding of comics and how the space works, it doesn't work. Like, he's emulating it, but he doesn't get why.
Yeah, but there's definitely some, like, I think everybody has this, like, a kind of a sense of what works because we've consumed so much media. Like, I think in general, we are all, like, we have a certain sense of being able to, like, kind of critique and, like, know the basics of stuff, but, like, we can't, like, the thing that starts to show your craft is when you're really, like, studying it and figuring out, like, why does this, you know, these two panels work next to each other and implying like they just banged into each other.
Yeah. I like the bendy arms too. Like look at Sonic's bendy arm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And that hand.
Rubber Band Man.
Rubber Band Man.
You remember Static Shock?
I loved Static Shock.
Oh, it was so good.
I think they're making another one. I don't know.
Oh, are they?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows, but
I understand that show wasn't perfect, but I loved it for what it was.
Yeah, it was great for its like age range.
And I love how, like, I don't know. There was a lot of fun stuff in that one.
Oh, yeah, we go this way.
Let's continue.
Yeah.
Good thing I made like a cat to get that dust out of my eyes.
Huh?
What? Made like a cat to get... What?
Huh. Oh, look, she's tiny again. She did shrink. You're right.
Or maybe just like that's an electric hedgehog Pokemon power. Is growth.
Yes.
Like just activate Black King Bar, and then they just shrink again. Okay, not my sweet. You're not my. Okay, sorry. You do.
No, it's okay. It's all right. You're not my sweet bolt Sonichu.
No, I'm not. No. Oh, it's let me go, you creep, and then no. God damn it.
Man.
Oh, that is bad.
All you need to do is you could have literally just changed these. Like, I don't even know where these arrows are pointing anyways.
Yeah, it's like pointed to the corner of the panel. Okay.
It's like the panel speaking.
Yeah.
Getting really meta.
We're getting meta. All right. We're off to see my masters, Giovanni and Nature.
Map scope. So he's going this way through some bushes, and they're still just there. Which, again, I really don't need this. And look, we have a nice key, though.
Yeah.
But I really think I probably could have figured out what these colors are.
I swear I have seen this kind of thing somewhere in, like, a cartoon or a show.
Well, cartoons I know have done it as well, you know.
Yeah, but, like, I'm trying to think. Did Pokemon ever do this? Because, oh my god, when I was little, I loved Pokemon. I have to imagine that that's where I've seen it. Because, no, of course they would have done it in Pokemon, because they're trying to harken back to the games.
Yeah.
They're making a reference. They would be.
Probably.
Okay.
Well.
Let's continue. All right. Oh boy. They're going to sound exactly the same. You should have watched where you're going. Speak for yourself. You could have easily seen a blue blur coming your way.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
But you know what's kind of, this is a great opportunity to talk about, like, you'll see this in a lot of comics, that there will oftentimes be like lots of people talking all at once. And like the thing you don't want to do is just use the same text throughout it, because then suddenly there's no voice for any of these characters and you can't really distinguish them. So you're running into this problem where it's like this is the same like size, the text size, and same spacing and such. And there's different ways you can like remedy that by like some people like to put like borders around that maybe like match a specific trait. So like in this case, like you could do like yellow around, or like make the text bubble even maybe like a pale yellow,
or like have a lightning shape for the
like a little
for the what is it, the arrow,
the little icons sometimes appear. Oh yeah,
I'm thinking like, the little nubbly bit. What is that called on
a tail?
On text bubble? A tail, right?
Tail.
You said it before, and I'd forgotten.
Yeah, no, it's it can be like
thank
jargon.
you.
Yeah, so like the comic tail, you could do that, but I would say that would kind of then make it like lightning bolt tails oftentimes imply like a robot, or like almost like a radio. Like there's a lot of kind of like things we don't even pick up on that are just kind of like a part of a visual vocabulary in comics that we're kind of like, we know like this equals this, or like this. And manga does it a lot, where it's like, oh, you see like those lines that come down over someone's head usually imply like, oh, they're depressed.
Yeah, but then they end up on the text bubble.
Yeah, and like, you know, somebody who's totally new to comics, has never read a comic in their life, wouldn't immediately understand that. But like if you've read enough, you start to like pick up on what this is implying about this character. So
yeah, it's powerful enough that like writers are willing to have that little barrier to entry.
Yeah, and I mean, usually like, and you can do something like that here though, is start to establish your own vocabulary for these different characters, like what makes their like speech different. And it's just kind of like, you know, once again, a missed opportunity to help clarify who's talking and who's who.
All right.
Oh,
apparently scroll wheel works.
Yeah,
scroll wheel where I am. Okay. I'm sorry, that wasn't funny. Okay. Episode 1, Sonichu. You're that hedgehog. Oh, right, they haven't seen each other until now.
Oh,
I think that like this bit here on this panel is like, you know, the anime thing,
the
where
anime
like
thing
people's
with
eyes
the like
meet and you get the little electricity going in between them.
Yeah, but this is like it's like a kite. They're flying a kite between each other.
It's wonderful. You're that hedgehog. I found you, faker. Oh boy.
Whoa.
Oh, I need numbers. Oh, I forgot about this.
What is this?
They're talking.
In numbers?
Well, like, the numbers are supposed to show the order in which they're talking.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yup.
Oh, no. Okay, see, again, this could have all just been remedied if you had, like, something to distinguish what makes, like, you establish, like, oh, like a lightning bolt for Sonichu, and then, like, even just, like, a blue squiggle for him. Like, for Sonic, we don't... Numbers, that should never be your solution. Well,
oh, dear.
Do you want me to take the voice of Sonic?
I don't know if I want to read any of this.
I think it's just kind of recapping, like, okay,
yeah.
like, she's been kidnapped. Uh-oh.
Okay, let's find
follow
Rose
them.
at you. Yeah.
Now they're a team.
Yay.
Wow.
And now we have direct copyright infringement.
We've got you could go onto the website.
Sonichu.info.
Ribbon logo is a TM of the Autism Society. Wow. Okay.
Okay. Autism awareness.
I learned something. I didn't know that.
All right.
What's this? Did he scan? This must be someone else scanned these in, and then maybe he used them?
I remember he made his own Pokemon cards based on his IP.
Oh, so he made
or
this.
IP, quote unquote. Yeah, he made his own individual cards.
Okay. He's zapping. This is
zapping to the extreme. Like, the blue on blue really hurts.
Yeah, it's
zapping to the extreme.
I mean, and these colors are so similar in value that it's like you're gonna they're very garish together because they're so bright.
Let's see. All right, yeah, we'll just keep going. God, this really does keep going. I'm getting tuckered out.
Yeah, maybe we should.
I feel like I'm hitting a wall.
Yeah, well, okay.
We've gone over a lot of the problems so
Yeah,
far
I think
already.
we're
Like, we're
probably-
kind of beating a dead horse. Like, I think continuing would be beating a dead horse.
Yes, yes. So, but didn't you want to show me something? Somebody said something about straw.
Whoo, boy. Let me find it. Hold on. I need to find it. Hold on. Colossal straw. Okay. Here we go.
Oh no. Oh no. What is this?
Can we get a... Okay. So, yup. Let me save this. And then... add... Oh, whoop. Add an image. Come on.
We're getting
Sorry,
through
this
it.
takes a while.
Sorry.
Okay. Alright.
Okay, so
Oh, whoop. Let me enlarge it.
what?
It was...
So explain this to me. I think I need.
So... Right. They can't hear me. Now they can hear me. So this comes up in one of the later comics. Just this huge straw. And it just became an icon.
Yeah, because you know what it looks like.
Yeah. there have been murmurs of, Chris Chan struggling with his sexuality very early on. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just think he doesn't know how to draw straws. I think that he traced the straw.
Oh, but didn't scale it
But didn't scale
accordingly.
it, correct. Like, because he traced it, it didn't scale.
Oh, but are you sure? Because look, it's not. It's in a big cup. It's like the cup didn't change either. You know.
Yeah, I have no explanation for you.
Yeah, I mean, like
I have nothing.
anatomy and such. We've already established is not the like priority
No.
of the art here. Although I have to say, I do like the scene. You know, I like that there's a little painting in the background.
Some modern art.
Yeah. So what's this edited? It got edited?
I think so, because he was mocked endlessly for it. He
Oh.
edited it. He what he'd do sometimes is like go back and fix things in the comic
Oh, yeah.
later on.
Like that's such a I think that's such a honest instinct to try and like if you've been critiqued and you've like felt that, like it can be really tempting to try and fix those mistakes and try and
Yeah.
please people and try to be like, no, I will make it better, right? But in general, the best advice I got from like art instructors I had was to like just go forward. Like if you take what you learned and like just apply it to the next project. Don't keep getting
Yeah.
stuck on this like one thing, because otherwise you're never like gonna escape it, and you're gonna just keep going down this like vortex, because you're only ever gonna it's like you're trying to fix, like it's like almost trying to time travel and go back in time to fix like a one embarrassing moment from your life.
Yeah.
You know, are you really gonna be able to fix it? Like it's just stop reliving it and move on and do something better, you know?
Like, yeah, I feel that. There's so many times I wanted to go back and just like delete some of my old videos. Like, no, don't look at this.
But people,
Bad.
yeah, but people can be forgiving of it, because if you're showing that you're progressing and like developing and building new, like it's almost exciting, because then everyone else can be inspired by it and be like, look at where you started, you've improved so much. And that is like so hopeful for everybody who's starting new.
I find this straw inspiring. I am inspired. All right. Well, on that note, maybe we should call it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. This was just fun.
Yeah.
This is something I'm really glad that I could get Elise in to do this. I hope that people learn stuff. So there definitely was a part of me that was worried about this, because I was thinking, I'm making fun of someone's bad art. But I feel like, I don't know, as long as you're willing to make fun of yourself too, that's
Totally.
it's kind of a rough ethical place, definitely. But I feel like I love bad art. Like, I adore it, partially because, it's fun to have a laugh. Because sometimes the ways that people break convention can be, like, amusing because it's so shocking. We expect art to be a certain way, and then these people come in with these completely different conceptions of it and smash it, and it's surprising.
And
like surprise can elicit laughter.
And it can even like get you thinking in different ways. And like I would say,
yeah, well that's the other reason I love bad art is because I can look at it and say this is what I need to avoid. I can see what's bad about it, and then fix that in my own art.
And I mean, it's all pretty subjective anyways, because it's like there are people out there who like are gonna hate like Henry Darger's work, you know, and think like that's bad art. But in my opinion, I think it's fantastic, right? And there's even parts of me that can laugh and enjoy and actually like critically analyze the choices that Chris Chan's making in this comic, right? But
well, like Chris just in general is also like, I know this sounds weird, but Chris is an inspiring person for me. I remember I discovered Chris when I was like really digging on myself. I had no confidence at all. And then I saw Chris and all of his confidence in his failures, and I recognized I started asking myself, how can I avoid being like Chris? And I realized the best way to go about that is just by being self-conscious, like not self-conscious as in, oh, like I suck, or always worrying about how I'm doing something, but always trying to improve myself. And find the things that I don't like about myself and changing them. So in the same way, Chris's art serves a similar function for me. Is it's inspiring in that I can look at it, I can recognize it's bad, you know, have a laugh, but then also say to myself, like, well, I can avoid this simply by wanting to get better in art and just as a person. Yeah.
And then, like, even, like, as a piece of advice, I'd say if you're, like, just beginning something, like, avoid putting it on the internet. Like, you'll just regret it for yourself. Like, I have drawings that I uploaded online back in high school that I'm like, why would I do this to myself? Because they can't go away now. But it's like, again, it's not so bad, because if you're improving, you're gonna be able to say, like, look at where I am now. And like, if you just keep going forward, people are just gonna see it as like, it makes you more human, right? Like, you know, it makes you more human in people's eyes, because you're no longer just like some sort of perfect ideal. It's like you had to work to get where you got.
Like everyone does. I as much as I want to go and delete all my old work, I look at artists who have improved over time, and it's inspiring. And so I ought not to. Anyway. We could go on about this for forever. We have gone on about this for hours, like this kind of thing. But I think that this is a good place to call it. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
It
was a lot of fun.
It was really great. So again, if you want to check out Elise's art, Elise is the designer of the Down the Rabbit Hole logo. And she also designed the gas mask cultist that appeared on some of the episodes' intros. Go check out her art at elisemccall.com. You can also follow her on Twitter at GrandioElise. Both links are down in the description. And as for me, if you wanted to say something to me, anything at all, tell me how much I suck, you can go on Twitter. Like, I look at all my messages on Twitter. Or if you want to actually, like, have a semi sort of chat with me, I stream on Twitch sometimes. I do gaming, but be warned, there will be semi spoilers on the Twitch streams. I'm going to be practicing my so you can follow me on Twitch and just hit me up. It's not hard to get a hold of me. All right, that's about it. I have nothing else.
Me either.
I don't think so. Actually, I had an itinerary of things I wanted. Let's see. Next episode. I wanted to give a small episode on the a small update on the next episode. It's taken a bit longer for like 4 reasons in particular. One, it's going to be a longer episode, somewhere between DSP and time cube length, so 30 to 45 minutes probably. That's my estimate right now.
I like long episodes.
I think a lot of people do. So also, like, I burnt out on the time cube episode. I pushed myself too hard on it, and it was hard for me to focus on anything for like a week afterwards. That slowed it down. And also, like I mentioned in the middle of the stream, the subject matter it's dealt with in a very strange way and never chronologically, but I try to do things chronologically in my videos, so I had to pick all these little pieces out of these massive other pieces, and like bits of information, and even court documents don't have the dates oftentimes.
Wow,
Like
that's surprising.
they just say this happened, and then maybe like they're just testimonies from people. So it's rough. Like what I'm saying is it's hard, but I'm really excited to share this with you guys because it starts weird and gets weirder. Okay. So by the way, this stream will be archived. Don't worry. The whole thing will be available, just like the Empress Theresa stream. I did once do a stream of almost all of Digital Homicide's games, but that got wonky. I might do it again just for fun, so that there's a video of that too. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Thank you very much, everyone. I will catch you later. I'll try to have the new video out by the end of the year. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh God, where's the stop button? Here we go.